Okay. When last we left off, we rewound time to witness a few conversations with that Drada had with Alua, and later a additional meeting that they had aboard the Azure Phoenix with a drow woman named Chalice. But beyond that, the Left Stars had continued preparing for their journey to the Savanna Island. In that preparation, Aesop stopped by to see Jory and handed off a research request from Drada. You all also had an eventful visit with Mother Mary's, acquiring some special spices for the journey ahead that Blossoms used to make a delicious chili dinner. We just kind of reached that point where you all had this delicious dinner. The last dinner you kind of expect to have aboard the Azure Phoenix, knowing that sometime tomorrow you will need to find a way to deliver yourselves to the surface of the island underneath a dense storm with no visibility and without the ship being able to land. So that is tomorrow, and this is tonight, so we will return to where we left off, which I believe was sort of earmarked as Drada throwing up over the edge of the ship after a difficult experience with the chili. But the rest of you are still hanging out in the captain's quarters. I've repositioned people on the map into a more default position, but the rest of you are just sort of in the captain's quarters, finishing up dinner in these moments. What would you like to do?
That was amazing, Blossom. Absolutely delicious. It's spicy. Like, you could see the sweat coming down from my forehead, but oh, that was such a good meal. Thank you so much.
Well, of course. I sure hope your friend will be okay.
They'll be fine.
Soft vomiting in background.
Maybe should someone look after, make sure Drada's doing okay? I'll just step outside. I'll do that. So I'll step outside to kind of look at Drada. I'm like, hey, pats her back. Need anything? Need some water? Need like maybe some like bread to like kind of tone down the spice level.
It is sure nighttime outside, so you don't see Drada, but you do just hear discordant vomiting and see vomit going off the side of the ship.
Okay.
No context as to a body where it's from, so that's fun. That's just a fun image I wanted to share.
So I'll
completely
revert.
findable. You just see vomit fountaining out.
I'll revert back and be like, okay, so follow the vomit, follow the trajectory. Okay, you're right there.
Right. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. I back away for a second, and then
yeah, you didn't have that much. It's sort of like the amount that did sort of get into your digestive tract is going to be uncomfortable for the next 7 or so hours.
Right.
But you didn't. You're not in a vomit fountain for long.
Delightful. They draw just after a moment, when stomach settles somewhat. It's just like, I appreciate the check-in. And I'm good. I might just eat a lot of bread and bland foods for the next 24 hours to 3 months.
That sounds like a really long time, but if that's what you feel like you need,
we'll find out. I appreciate the check-in, and like a very feeble arm goes up and like pats your shoulder and then misses and then pats again, almost steadying himself.
Do you need a lock arm?
I'm good. I'm gonna just go to bed now.
Okay.
Go have fun. Tell
as a knight,
Blossom that it was an unforgettable dining experience.
I will. However, I don't know if you're able to walk back there, so if you allow me to, I will just pick you up and take you to your cot, and then I'll drop you off.
Sure, go for it. Drada is clearly displeased by being carried like a child and also would not make it on his own. His constitution score is not that high.
And my strength score is not that high, but I feel like you are small enough for me to do so.
Beautiful.
The rest of you in the captain's quarters, Blossom says, "Well, I should go make sure that everybody else has the opportunity." And she sort of takes the bowl, or not the bowl, the pot of chili, and sort of lifts it up and sort of starts to peruse the ship.
Hey, Blossoms, on your way out, just if there's any left over, let me know.
She nods. The impression I pause as a DM for a second because it's like she seems to think that there won't be.
I don't know about you guys, that was really good. Well, I'm gonna go out on deck and I'm gonna stretch out and Mouse, you got all the star stuff, right?
I mean,
Can we see the stars still with the storm coming in?
The storm is on the horizon. It's not directly above you, so the answer is yes. And but as you guys are just sort of talking and planning your evening, Willow, who's in his quarters with you right now, says, "Well, I don't know about your friend outside, but as mentioned, it would be a good time to set up watches for the evening. We were safe within the perimeter of consonants, but with the short crew that we have right now, we could use your help."
Completely understood.
I can take first watch.
I'll take last watch then.
I'll join you guys and eventually be in the middle. I'll be the second watch. I'm trying to look at a spell real quick.
It's worth considering to who doesn't have dark vision.
Uh-huh. So I'm looking at right now.
One does have dark vision if there's somebody that makes sense to pair up with.
Yeah,
I do not.
And I can...
do.
Okay, I don't either, but I can cast light that lasts for an hour, and it's a cantrip.
Drada?
Drada will have to be rudely awoken. But Drada is happy to be put wherever is helpful for dark vision purposes.
Well, I think either with Aesop or myself.
Clax,
Because Mouse, you have dark
you're
vision.
I wanted to go first so that I can take watches as a giant wolf spider,
Understood?
just casually.
which will have dark vision.
Drada can join Clax then. If you're third?
Yep.
That gives Drada more time to sleep and recover.
I will join Aesop then.
Great.
So Mouse is solo, then it's Aesop, Aesop Drada.
No, Aesop.
No, sorry,
Flint.
Aesop Flint.
Yes.
And then Clax Drada.
Mm-hmm.
Mouse, you will be joined by... who would you prefer to spend time with between Moira, Nal, and Willow? Because they are each going to join one of these watches as well.
I would be most interested in talking with Moira.
Sure.
Nah, I'll stick with Willow. I'm gonna make Willow my friend.
Any desire for Moira or Nal for the other two groups?
I think I would. Oh, go ahead,
yeah.
Ace.
Clax, you should have Nal, just so you can have that conversation. So we'll take Moira, and then I'll stay by Flint, and then give Moira like something lit up so she can see if she doesn't have anything already.
They all are relying on torches between
Got it.
the crew folks. So okay. The chili is dispersed throughout the ship. Willow sort of just tells everybody to get some sleep while they still can, and then sort of acknowledges Mouse as staying up with him for this first leg. If you could roll me a perception check.
Yeah. I'll turn to Willow and say, I wanted to hang out with you, but I'm better at watching if I'm in a different form. Did you want to chat, or should I switch?
He regards you. Different form? Do as whatever makes you most effective.
Excellent. Have a great watch. And I will change into a giant wolf spider and spider climb my way up to one of the crow's nests to take watch.
I believe that this is why he rolled a natural one. Because he does not understand.
60-foot dark vision, 10-foot blind sight?
I forget that it just shows you stuff. Okay, anyway. With a 17 dark vision, we're just keeping everybody sort of in your standard position. We'll figure out positions if it ever matters, but which crow's nest are you on? There's sort of 3 here on the ship. I'm gonna bring you up to the crow's nest level. Oops. Oh wait, you're I need you to be your spider token as well. Sorry, which crow's nest are you on presently? Okay.
Will, you're on mute.
Nope.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I interpreted the ping. Sorry, what was the dark vision again?
60 feet.
60 feet. It's first a sound that you hear as your sort of spider senses tingle, for lack of a better phrase. Willow doesn't seem to pay any notice at all as you sort of look down to acknowledge whether Willow noticed anything. But you look up and it seems that there are... you look down from the crow's nest into the winds, into the cloud cover beneath you. And you see the shape of almost a bird made of white clouds that seems to be keeping pace with your ship. It's rather large. It's not a smaller bird, but more of a medium creature, or sorry, a large creature, I should say.
Have I seen birds that large on previous voyages? And if so, do I have any historical reason to be alarmed?
You can roll a perception check. Or sorry, I meant history, but I'll take the wisdom roll.
History's a -1, so.
Oh, that's right. So, but okay, so I'll let you keep the natural 18 because it's still pretty high. So 17, we'll say. You've heard of a type of elemental referred to as a storm crow that can be dangerous if antagonized, and that they tend to be around storms of the nature like the one that you're closing in on. At the moment you look down on it and it doesn't seem antagonized, but it does seem to be following.
I will spider climb back down. Because I wouldn't be very good at climbing down. And I will drop form and convey this to Willow. Just that I don't think we're under immediate threat, but it does seem like we're being followed, and just kind of explain what I saw.
He sort of looks at you with just sort of still a little bit of disbelief in what the hell you're doing as a spider, but then he says, understood. We should, well, let's just do everything we can to avoid causing any problems for it. You see him sort of like lean over the edge in sort of an attempt to follow what you said and check it out for himself. And then he, as soon as he spots it, he says, yes. Let's keep going.
Sounds good. I can go back up there if you want.
He nods in affirmation.
I will go back to spider form and climb back up.
You keep eyes on it, and there are a couple of moments where it sort of like seems to be doing laps around the ship. Do you do anything?
Honestly, I think Mouse is studying it as I don't get to be close or see creatures this large, or I probably haven't spent this much time observing a creature like this before. I think she's just kind of analyzing it from a nature perspective of, okay, I know I've been looking at other birds, but this is different in these ways, and just not even really like, she's not nervous about it. It is there and it's not being hostile. She just wants to learn as much as she can from observation.
Roll me an appropriate check based on kind of the flavor of learning you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Could be like Arcana, it could be Insight, it could be...
Yeah, I'm gonna go Insight.
Survival. Okay. Or Nature, I don't know.
I mean, I'll go Survival if that's an option.
Okay. With a 14, I would say one of the aspects that you pull out of it is that it seems to be made somewhat of clouds. I think I've previously described like Avendir's hair as like drifting off into clouds in the back, and this bird, whenever it's flying past, it sort of like leaves behind a trail of clouds, and you see that it seems to diminish over time, and then it dives back down to almost recharge itself before coming back up. So it's survival instincts. It's like going down for air instead of coming up for air in that way.
That's really cool.
But eventually it leaves, and you feel you do see it leave, so you can notify the next watch if you would like, but you're pretty certain that it's not present anymore.
Yeah, when our time's up, I'll go back down and relay that the creature left to Willow, and then whoever I'm waking up, just let them know what I saw.
Okay. Second watch, Aesop and Flint, and Moira is present, but for all intents and purposes, she is sort of... She's here, but she's kind of like checking throughout the ship. So if you want to grab her, then let me know. But she's sort of doing like making sure everything's tied down, making sure everything's in working order. But if you could both roll perception for me.
I will be casting light on my leather, just so there's like something shiny, or like something that I could see around me.
Okay.
What's the radius on that?
I think the light spells
20 feet bright light, and then dim light for another 20 feet, so 40 feet total.
Okay. If you can roll perception, though.
Yes, sorry. Sorry. Here we go. Not too bad.
Okay.
I'll probably stay at the front of the ship, just kind of like... I know I probably can't see it, but knowing that we're getting closer to the island, I don't think I would be able to take off my eyes from the front of the ship. Just focusing on, like, seeing my parents soon.
I'll tell you what you can see in the distance beyond the light is the occasional flash of lightning and thunder that seems to be surrounding this island. It's kind of mystical watching it from this perspective, like being in a skyscraper and seeing it in the city next, like the city next to you.
Right.
There's so you can see it a little bit, but you of course know details of the island.
Right. And we can't hear the lightning or thunder yet, I'm assuming.
No, not yet.
So, you've been to this place before?
So, it's been a little while, a long time since I've been there, but I don't remember there being a storm cloud above the island, though, so that part is new.
Okay, that was going to be kind of my question. Has it always been stormy like this, or?
No, unfortunately, I think it's the elemental warfare that's happening down there that's causing it. At least that's my guess.
How good are the ships that your people have? Like, are they going to be able to leave in this storm?
Oh, they're trained. They're trained for any circumstance, and if it's possible, so are the ships. Ships are very well built, and I would say my community definitely knows how to take care of them. We've only had one ship loss that I know of in the recovery squad's history, but that was a freak thing.
Can you roll a
Why
history
didn't you-
check? Sorry. Roll me a history check, Aesop.
Yeah. History.
Okay. Nothing.
Why didn't you join up with the recovery squad?
I was on the path to, believe it or not. But it was not something that I saw for myself. I saw a more creative pathway for me, I guess, and sad to say, but the recovery squad doesn't really nurture the arts very well. Maybe the art of warfare, but that's it.
That's fair.
But
You'd have been good at it though. Like you're pretty darn handy in fighting stuff.
But I feel like I don't have a lot of constitution. I feel like I'm not as hardy. And I feel like you might feel that way too when you see both of my parents. I didn't really adopt that kind of hardiness that they have.
I mean, there's always a need for like spellcaster and stuff though.
That
Like,
is true.
your average wizard is still super useful. They're not all big and buff.
I could have been, but there's always a use for someone on their recovery squad. They even have non-minotaurs as part of their organization, but very few and far between. It just wasn't for me. And my parents, for kind of a good reason, just didn't really understand because that was their whole life. But I needed to find my own way, and I'm glad I did because I found you guys.
Hey, did you ever figure out if Neptus was a air elemental or a water elemental?
It's kind of both.
Both.
I think it's both. Do I have? I think I wrote down his history when I did his legend lore. If you give me a second to find it. That was a while ago, though. Flint. Yes. So from my notes specifically, and I'll kind of repeat this because this is what I heard in like the legend lore spell. A union of air and water, Neptus, born of the source and lifted to the sky, who led the armies of vapor, and the battle of Boulder Scream, turning magma into obsidian. Neptus, torn from his home in the planar ring for quintessence, must keep the elements balanced.
Just kind of trying to think through if like we could use it to like spruce up Mouse's airship the way they've got some sort of elemental gem. I think theirs is different here, but I don't know if it's possible to harness these things or not.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not totally a fan of harnessing elemental power for mechanisms that I believe we can do ourselves. So I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, fair enough. You know more about the elementals and their, place in this world. Plus, you're closer to Neptus, but
Yeah.
I don't know, the ship just seems wild.
Yeah, just the fact that technology, magic like this exists boggles my mind. What about you? How have you been feeling? Us up in the skies on a new adventure. Are you worried?
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be great. We're gonna fly through a storm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's always a fun adventure with this group.
I always feel like I feel like you're the daredevil of the group. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, a little bit. I don't know. I think Drada's probably better at it than I am, but I think it's fun.
Yeah. Did you always kind of have that growing up?
I guess a little. But spent a lot of time just kind of working as younger, trying to make ends meet and things. That's how I learned to build things. I guess that's good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was that the time you started with the Jade Mask, or was that later on?
In about. I mean, I worked for a decent while in Flamebridge before I did a little bit of work with them. But eventually wanted to try to make a little more money.
Hey, I'm not here to judge. We all have to survive in this crazy world.
Yeah, it's tough. I never thought I'd be making as much money as I am with this group. But
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Oh God.
yeah, just trying to be a maker in Flamebridge was hard to get ahead.
Well, I'm glad that we all somehow magically came together to form this group. And I do have to say, I appreciate you in battle, just constantly having everyone's back. I think I can say for the rest of us that we do appreciate it. With your little turret down there. Do you have a name for it, by the way?
One of these days I really should name it. I haven't yet. It's I have a big laundry list of things I need to work on and do, and one of these days I need to get back to my turret and work on it. Drada gave me a really good idea a while back, and I haven't quite figured out what to do with that yet. But I think maybe naming it'll be part of that.
Yeah. I think that would be nice. Well, let me know if you ever need any help with any of that stuff. I don't know how I could, but maybe magically I could get myself involved.
That's fair. I'll think on it.
No. If you ever, I tried this out with Drada, but if you're ever in a pinch or feel like you need to be a little bit more stealthy, I'll cast greater invisibility on you.
Stealthy's not my usual MO, but I'm trying to get better at it.
Sorry, did you cast it right now, or are you just sort of saying that because you clicked the button?
Oh yeah, I wanted to
show
let know that this is like a capability that I have now.
Okay.
Because I think I only told Drada about it.
Okay, you're not casting it though. You're just like showing the spell.
Oh no, I actually cast it on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're invisible now.
Oh, I'm used to be. Well, I can make myself invisible, but not like this. This is better. No, I don't know. I'm not gonna fire off spells or anything whilst I'm invisible. But
I
feel like you
Moira comes by.
Difference.
Moira comes by as part of her just patrol and doesn't realize that Flint's not here, and she's like, "Everything good up here?"
Good evening. Yes, I just can't stop staring at that storm ahead of us.
Well, hope you have a plan for tomorrow. And she wanders off.
Great. Thanks, Moira. Wow.
He'll probably spend some of the watch just kind of looking at other things around the ship. He's spent a lot of time in the engine room, but not a lot looking at the sails and the different mechanisms they have for the steam and I don't know the ballistas and things like that.
Okay. And greater invisibility only lasts for 1 minute, so you
Yeah.
can't get too intense in your going through pipes and stuff.
I am assuming neither of us noticed this little trap door at the front of the ship.
That's not. There's a visual hint, but it's much more subtle.
Yeah.
In reality. Okay. Well, your watch is uneventful, and it was very eventful conversation, but no dramatic problems, as Drada and Klax are woken up as well.
Oh, I could have slept a little longer, but
Morning.
I'll like tap Drada, be like, "Morning. Do you feel better? Morning."
Hello.
Drada, can you roll me a Constitution save?
Oh, sure.
Oh my god, you're gonna throw up on me.
No,
Alright,
but
that's a good number.
you did manage to avoid becoming exhausted. Like it was the question of did you sleep effectively or not, but you got it out of your system, and you were able to function for the next day. So still a little woozy, but you are yourself again.
Hello. Morning.
Good morning.
Night. Okay.
Quax just goes up on deck and starts kind of slowly stretching, getting limber, walking, just making a tour around the ship as he starts to keep an eye out, trying to wake up and stretch out, be ready for anything.
Yeah, and you see that Moira sort of similarly wakes up now. Who is joining you? If you could roll some perception checks for me.
For the thing. Big number, big number, big number. Never mind.
Woo!
Oh,
Mystery. Ooh.
Mystery die.
Oh, sorry, that was Nal's perception roll. It was not meant to be a mystery.
Ooh. I also think knowing that Plax and Nal might have some things to discuss, Drada naturally would go up to a crow's nest, but I think would stay up at the crow's nest and give them some space to talk.
I'll give it like 15, 20 minutes into the watch, just kind of making my rounds, getting stretch out and everything, then kind of walk up to Nal. Morning.
Morning.
How you holding up?
She looks towards the storm that you're riding to and says, "Glad I'm not going into that."
Come on, it'd be fun.
Well, yeah, but she smiles a bit, sort of like maybe wishing she could, but knowing that she can't.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So tell me a little bit more about yourself now.
In what way?
Well,
Just,
actually, I'm not very good at small talk myself, so I'm really interested more about this dragonborn that you were talking about, or that I asked you about.
She sort of slumps just slightly and says, like, I figured. I'm afraid I just don't know that much. That could be terribly helpful. Is he a friend of yours? I don't...
No. Alright. I'm not very good at lying. I did lie to you earlier when I said it was because of a fable or whatever. I'm tracking down some people, and there is a red dragonborn with wings who might be part with a shady crowd that I'm trying to investigate. And the fact that you might know anything of him or any information around his family could be helpful for me in trying to solve some other issues.
She sort of considers for a moment and says, I was a child and I was banished for the reasons I shared earlier. It all happened so fast. I haven't been back in a while. If he perhaps owns the land that my family was on now, then I could try to give you some directions or write that down or something. But I'm not familiar enough with this person to really be able to answer questions, I don't think.
You know what, though? If you don't mind if I get a piece of scrap paper, because I don't think I have any on me now.
I can do my best, but an 8-year-old is not a cartographer.
No, and I'm sure things have changed since you left, but at least gives us a lead. And again, here's the thing: I can't promise anything, but if we end up running into this dragonborn, see if we can't make things right in any way, shape, or form. No promises, but
well, you'd have to. Listen, do what you're going to do with the guy, but that doesn't bring me back home. I'm pretty sure being banished wasn't his doing. I'm pretty sure the council has decreed that I can't come back. Or the quorum, or whatever it's called.
Quorum.
So, I mean, do what you're gonna do, and I'll be helpful if I can, but... I guess I don't really desire revenge. I took this job because it's stable. I'm curious to, like, connect to my homeland and my people and this and that, but... like, unless I can go back there and settle down, I don't really know what good... well, I'm thinking entirely selfishly, of course, but I don't know what good you tracking this guy down and getting him to change his mind. She gives you the look of, like, or doing something else. I don't know what that would do me, but I welcome you to do whatever you want.
Again, just, I don't know if it makes you feel better. I'm not doing it for you. It just, if it happens to coincide and it happens to be the same Dragonborn or the same Dragonborn family, I might see what I can do. But if you think of anything, before we depart or when we run cross paths again, just let me know.
I'll think on it. Are you... I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I'll have any grand ideas before you leave. Are you planning to link up with the ship for this auction thing?
I think that's all going to depend on that storm up there. Plan is, I think we would like to be back in time to link up with the ship and, go with Avendir and you guys around some of it. But at the same time, I really think we need to find out what's going on with Aesop's parents.
No, I mean, I'm not... I have no skin in that game. Do what you need to do. I suppose I'm a little nervous about the end of the trip. That this ship is supposed to fly to Ildre. I don't know what that means for me, if I should hop off before. She kind of, like, leans in, kind of in a quiet tone, and says, I'm talking to you about this because maybe you know something that could help me, but as far as everybody else is concerned, they might see me as an ally, somebody who could make connections for them back in Ildre. Not that they've asked me that explicitly, but it's sort of the nature of being on such a diverse ship, is that everybody here has so many connections. I don't know if they're expecting that of me. So, trying to figure that out, if I should stay for the whole trip or not.
DM, aboard. How serious is banishment taken in the society? Like, is that punishable upon death type situation, or is it,
I'd say give me a... You haven't been there since you were young, so give me a history check.
Nope.
Yeah, you're not sure. I will say there is, even just with a 5, I will say, like, Ildre is not this society where people are cutting off each other's heads for, like, minor grievances. You imagine that you can do with that what you will. It would be far-fetched to think that somebody would get killed for coming back unless they did something.
I'll turn now. Now, just in general, I think 1, we got time. 2, just let them know you don't have the connections in Ildre. It is what it is, and I'm sure Avendir already has plenty of connections. He seems like he is a very well-connected man. And then if we can link back up, there's always a chance that I can reach out to my family and smooth that over. But I think for you, I'd stay on the ship. Just don't cause trouble Not that I expect you to, but just don't get into trouble in Ildre, and I think you'll be fine.
Just to follow up on one thing, your family's capable of smoothing things over?
If I remember, I will double check my backstory when we get off of me, and I'll circle back to
They
you.
have quorum connections.
Yes.
Yes. So, sorry. I don't know which of that was DM talk or character. But
Oh, sorry.
Your family
So,
does have quorum connections.
Yes.
I don't remember their exact roles, but...
Correct. Let me pull it up real quick, just if you guys don't mind giving me 2 seconds.
Sure.
Been a while since I had to go this deep into the backstory.
Drada, what are you thinking about?
Drada is perpetually going back and forth between, should I listen into this conversation? No, I don't want to break their privacy. I said I would go away, but it could be really juicy gossip, and I don't know what these people what Plax talks about when he's alone. He's gone off in so many, like, several hidden conversations at this point, and just bouncing back and forth. Ultimately deciding not to eavesdrop. But I think bouncing back and forth and then looking ahead at the storm and just going, don't really feel ready to leave the ship for multiple reasons. One being I have unfinished business that I don't think I can accomplish in the timeline that we're here, and the other being I'm not ready to jump off of a floating boat. But tomorrow's gonna bring some excitement at the very least. So a self-defeating, semi-sardonic stealing of himself.
Very good. Back to the Dragonborn conversation. Yep. She says, so your family has some ability to help?
When I left, yes. My dad was still on the quorum when I left. Now, granted, it's been 10 years, 11 years since I left. And then while my mom wasn't on the quorum, she was extremely highly regarded. As a matter of fact, a lot of people thought she was more the power behind the scenes than my dad was. So I haven't really talked to him since I left, but didn't leave on the best of terms. But it wasn't a falling out. I'm not banished or anything along those lines.
Can you give me a persuasion check?
Sure thing. So I'm good at these. It's gonna be one of them days.
She kind of just like there's kind of a moment where you're talking face to face, and she just sort of like sighs and rests her arms on the edge of the ship and starts to look out into the distance.
Yeah. Again, I make no promises, but we'll see what we can do. And I'll kind of just give her the tap on the shoulder as she's looking out, and knowing that conversation's probably done, I'm going to take a lap around the ship.
Yeah. Give me an insight check just as you sort of wrap it up. Like
Come on, 3
as
5s
you're
in a row.
walking away. Yeah, let's do it.
3 5s in a row.
Hey, not awful.
11.
You get the impression that you said something that she didn't like.
Well, my guess would be the fact that my family was on the quorum would be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, but it's also like, I say with the, spoiling slightly, with the persuasion of 5, it's sort of like how close are you to your family? How similar? She doesn't know. But everybody wakes up with a full long rest.
Whew.
As expected, a simple breakfast is once again prepared on the deck of the ship as people are sort of coming up and are feasting on bread and eggs or things that they should like. And the day is yours to discuss just what the hell you're going to do.
Happy jumping off a boat day.
Woo! So I think the last plan we talked about was Dimension Door.
So I have most of a plan, I think.
Go for it, Mouse. Let's hear it.
Do either you or Flint have any like mesh on your clothing?
I'm a leather armor wearer, so that would be no.
I imagine, like, Flint has armor on, but I imagine he tries to, like, sort of hide it and wear clothes over it, around it, whatever. That I imagine are, I don't know, wool or something. Whatever people wear.
Both could be doable. Okay. I will make Clax into a giant eagle.
Mm.
Then I will become a tiny spider and hold on really tightly to your bowl because I don't want to be in a pocket, because if I'm flying for the first time, I want to have my eyes open. Aesop, I think you can reduce yourself. No?
I can reduce Aesop.
I was supposed to say I don't have that spell.
And then Clax Eagle can take 2 small creatures. Drada, I'm just not sure how to get you to the ground.
Well,
Put me in the bag. I will be fine.
I was gonna say, can we try and see if you just fit in the bag? Let's start there and test that out.
Get in the bag, Drada. Get in the bag.
I don't really have all that much in there right now. So
Rana
That
is
is
a
a solid
size
plan,
medium
Mouse.
character, but also is pointedly gaunt.
Yeah, I
So-
think like if it was Clax or Aesop getting in the bag, I would tell you that the
No.
the circumference would not accommodate that. But I think Drada is sort of like if Drada put on a few pounds, there might be a problem. But currently, Drada would be able to, if this is something you're going to do, would be able to step into the bag.
Right.
I don't want to. I will say, I just as a DM caution, I will not allow you to do this as an attack against an enemy. You cannot just throw the bag over somebody's head. It is an effort to get into the bag and to get, like, presumably to get out of the bag. You cannot just sort of like fly swatter or net somebody in.
there's about 100 pounds worth of like tools and other sharp things. There's a battle axe in there, so don't hurt yourself.
Well, I mean, as Flint opens the bag, you look in, and it's just like a pitch black void.
I mean, to
You don't
Drada,
see
that's
battle
not
axes.
comforting. So, yeah, I think Drada lumbers in and squeezes himself in, so he's like on like if one's like swimming up to the edge of a swimming pool height, like cutting off like about there, and it's just like I feel fine. It's like more humid in here than I thought it would be.
I think
There's
it would
no
actually
air?
be pretty cold.
That's fine. It's crisp. It's feeling cave-like. It's dark and it's cold.
So you put your head in, like you're trying to see if it's dark.
I mean,
How much of
it
a
was
test
pitch
are you
black
doing?
void.
Yeah.
I think I will say I keep my hand up, just to be like, hey, if this starts, if I start moving this like crazy, please pull me out.
I, the strongest character, will pull you out of the bag.
Great, thank you. I'm literally trusting you with my life, and with
Okay.
that, Drada proverbially dives in.
So
And like one hand is still clutching the lip of the bag.
yeah,
And there's another arm it's just like heads right under.
yeah. So the sensation is incredibly cold. It's almost like a low air pressure situation. And you do not see anything. You don't see battle axes or gold or anything. It's pitch black, but it is beyond dark vision. You are floating in a space that doesn't exist. You feel your body. You are a solid object in this situation, but whatever dimension you are in is not a room, so to speak. You are not standing on anything. You are kind of just floating in this void.
Cool. Realizing, I think, Drada would have a moment of like, I don't know if this is really like relaxing in that I'm just alone and I can just be and I'm not being perceived by anyone or anything. Like, it's a character who I think is a pretty anxious little bean. I think that's kind of a nice thought. But also probably disconcerting, hearing like liquid slosh within his own body.
I'm gonna add one more thing as well. Just this is sort of trying to come up with DM boundaries, but also I think it sort of makes sense. The bag still has Drada's weight attached to it while it's open. You have to close the bag so that it has a finite kind of air in order for Drada to sort of fully transport out of it. You can't just have the bag open and let air pour in.
How is the bag closed? Is it something where Drada could keep a hand on a rim of the bag? It could remain closed, or does it need to be fully? Okay.
It has to be fully closed. Meaning it can only be open from the outside.
If I perish in here, we're gonna have words in the afterlife.
If you're worried about it, I think I could probably put you to sleep first, if that makes it easier.
No, I'm good. I think that is a lovely gesture. It sounds infinitely more horrifying.
It was actually on my to-do list of things to do, and then I realized that feign death doesn't help you breathe longer, so I took it off the list. But if it would make you feel better, it's a ritual, so I can make it happen.
No, I didn't think today that a day that included jumping off a skyboat would also include having your friend put you to sleep voluntarily. But I think I'll be fine.
I thought there were rules for a creature being able to try to climb out, but I don't see them.
I think there might have been in old editions.
Okay.
Yes, just to set expectations. Maybe you guys test this, maybe you don't. If you close the bag and then reopen it, you don't see Drada. In order to pull something out of the bag, you have to think of it and pull it out. So Drada, even if you open the bag, it is not enough to get Drada out. Somebody has to pull Drada out.
Fair.
And if the bag is opened, Drada can't see or speak out. It's sort of like Drada is in a pocket dimension until somebody reaches and pulls him out of that pocket dimension.
Well, hopefully the rest of us don't die and you're just stuck in the bag of holding for all of eternity.
Oh god, that'd be awful.
That sounds
I thought
horrible,
10 minutes of air.
Yeah, that's so fair. Wouldn't be forever. So just fall within 10 minutes, thanks.
Yeah, Fox, this puts a lot of pressure on you to find the right spot quickly.
Well, I don't know how safely we're going to land, but I'll get us down quickly.
I also polymorph. I'm not sure how it might sort of be up to Flint or Aesop to steer you and animal handle you, because you might not have quite as much of your Claxy mental gumption.
What do you mean?
You're gonna be a giant eagle.
Are they smart?
They're about as smart as I could get away with.
ever heard of the expression bird brain?
Yeah.
I don't know that Clags would, or that Flint would know this, but Eric knows. Giant eagles are actually strangely smart.
It's smarter
An
than
intelligence of 8, even,
It's-
yeah. I mean, an intelligence of 8 is still like something like a creature that might misremember things pretty often. You know, they still have to be directed.
Super smart. Giant eagles are super smart.
All right. Then
They're
we should have a
like
problem.
crows.
By the way, Clax is only a 10 intelligence, so I mean, we're not moving the Earth here. Like it's
You'll probably be more wise.
guaranteed to be more wise. But
Can me and
Alright.
Foot fit on the back of the giant eagle?
I imagine
I'm-
I'm probably actually carrying you in my claws. Would probably because I don't have. Do you have a saddle for me? Because I don't know how you're going to hold on to a bird flying at full speed.
I mean, I was
Mechanically, I think holding a small creature, I would say, could probably be done in claws. But the saddle situation, it's like you could hold on, but it would be easier to hold on with proper equipment.
I mean, my intent was to like tie a rope around your neck and stuff, and very firmly tie myself to you.
I might be able to do better than that. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm excited
Uh-oh.
or scared. One or the other. I haven't decided yet.
Kevin, I'm quickly back reading, but just to confirm, this thing can both grapple something and hold something in its mouth?
The ability can grapple and it can be ridden.
Lovely. I have found this. Yeah, guys, I've got something better.
Better than the giant eagle?
Yes.
I'm all ears.
I think it's best if you just see it.
Clax, you're gonna be something weird.
I'm so excited.
You guys are like just. I imagine you've migrated out of the captain's quarters and you're just like on the deck at this point, especially if you're about to start transforming stuff and
Yeah,
would it
yeah.
be like moved out of enclosed spaces.
What could go wrong?
Millie, it's not on your list because it's not. I'll put it on your list, but it's not there.
No worries. I just forgot about it because I was looking through the pictures.
Oh, okay. I've discovered a flaw in our plan. I thought enlarge reduce was 10 minutes. It's only 1 minute.
All quickly.
So
Hear me out. I think, if I'm reading this correctly, that we can get away without enlarge reduce. Because this creature can grapple a creature, carry it, and it doesn't impact its movement speed.
For the grapple, yes. For being ridden, it'll be a little slower, but yes.
Yeah. And slower is okay as long as it's not
Yeah.
unflyable.
So, we'll reveal this in a little bit, but above board, I would say grappling one small or medium creature, and then it could be ridden by 2 small creatures or 1 medium creature.
Okay,
Well,
so it can grapple Drada, and then
they'll grapple Aesop. Grotto will still be in the bag.
okay.
You'll be on my lapel or something. Not quite sure where you're going.
If Mouse is still a spider, though, can't Drada and Flit both ride on the back?
One medium or two small.
Oh, or Drod, are you medium?
Yeah,
I
I'm
see.
surprisingly tall.
Everyone's just small to me, so I have trouble figuring it out. Sorry, Clax.
And the worst part is, I think I'm 6'10". Like, it's not like I'm small.
I mean,
6'7". Sorry, I'm 6'7".
I just want to clarify that as a DM, I understand perhaps the plan. Drada is in a bag and therefore does not exist as far as weight limits.
Oh,
and stuff.
I would pull Drada out if we were testing this.
Okay.
So there.
Yeah, I mean, Drada will go
Well,
in the bag during this.
During the actual, but
Yeah.
not during the test run. So for the purpose of the test run, Drada doesn't need to be a part of it because they are in the bag.
Woo!
And then the two small creatures could ride on the back, and Aesop could be grabbed by it, and then Clax would be it.
Yeah, I think the intention was that Mouse was going to wild shape into something very small to like further.
Well, yeah,
Reduce
I mean, that just makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, but yes, that I think is the plan. And I will potentially reduce Aesop as needed, but it only lasts a minute, so.
And I mean, I have a failsafe maybe with Dimension Door if things get ugly. I don't know how that would work, but within 500 feet, I could just. But
Fair.
I don't know how that would work.
How does momentum work with teleporting? If I get within 30 feet of the ground and cast Misty Step to the ground, while falling.
That's a good
Dimension
question.
Door.
That's a good question. We'll figure that out if it comes to it.
Fair.
Great.
I do have Featherfall, which I can get all 5 of us with, if needed, but it's only like a 60-foot range. So if we start falling, we all kind of need to stay together. So I don't know if we want to try to tie all of us onto a singular rope or something, or.
I was about to say, if we feather fall and not worry about momentum, I can grab someone with Dimension Door if we're within 500 feet and just slowly then fall closer to the ground.
Okay.
We have so many good ideas.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
I just want to
know,
see
it's
my
gonna
parents.
It's gonna be great. And, you know, we love putting all of our collective lives at risk so Aesop can see his parents.
All
I
right.
say this with so much love.
Oh, it's like you're not putting the blame on me or anything, Drana. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Any last preparations before we do this?
Clax is just doing stretches because for whatever reason he believes it's going to help him be a bird or whatever he's going to be.
Willow sort of shares that at the rate that you are traveling, that you should expect, like within a couple hours after lunch, for you all to need to be prepared. So there is still time to both formulate this plan, to do anything else that you want to do, to have conversations. But Willow will state, as you guys are just sort of having this, he says, I can get you as close to the storm as possible, but I'm not, with respect to you, to honor Avendir's wishes, I have to get this ship back in one piece to Consonance. And so all of the help that I can have with you, sort of looks at Flint, with you helping Phelan in the engine room, looks at Mouse, with you sort of keeping me steering in the right direction, Drada helping with the sails. Clax helping to get all the supplies secured and in order. And Aesop, whatever it is that you do, anything you can do to help will help me to get you as close as I can. But as soon as we touch that storm, things are going to get a little hectic. So you're going to need, if you want to be close, I'm going to need all the help I can get, and then you're going to have to go pretty quickly. And then he just sort of shares that and then resumes his position at the wheel. Is there anything people would like to do sort of in making these preparations? Or just sort of with the time that you have before things start to go down?
Before we quite literally will go down, I think Drada would find a moment to go to Willow and drop off just a note saying, I have just a quick note to be given to our friend downstairs. Whenever you have a moment, it is not time sensitive.
He nods, sort of understanding.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for driving us to what could be the most exciting flight of our lives. That sounds rude. I'm genuinely excited and terrified. With that, Drada, I think, walks away, not letting him finish the conversation.
He looks like he's about to say something sharp and witty, but just sort of lets you go.
Oh, if Drada hears, no, there's
No.
banter possibilities. Drada
No, it's just he's just like, no. It's almost like he's just getting the measure of you and like doesn't know whether to make a quip at your expense about how everybody's gonna die. It decides to not say anything.
Fair. I will message you what the note reads.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would just go into the engine room and ask what I can do to help, get prepared or what to be ready for as we're getting closer.
Phelan says, no idea. Let's just make sure things don't break. But no, really, if we get close to that storm, the wind coming in the engines is going to fight the wind coming out of the engines, and who knows what that's going to do to the pressure, if it's going to build up in a bad way. So we're just going to want to keep an eye on things, be ready for some quick repairs, and then hope for the best.
All right.
A modest lunch is provided. Blossoms also kind of comes up to Clax, I think, with like a decently heavy satchel of various food, including like a jar that has a small amount of the leftover chili, and she just says, I don't know if you guys are all stocked up, but it can't let you go down there on an empty stomach. So my chair just broke.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's just like this footrest attachment. Anyway, Blossoms does not say that. That's the DM. But Blossoms is like, I don't want you to go without an empty stomach if you guys are going to be down there for a long time. So I've packed a couple provisions for you. I'm sure everything's going to be just fine.
Blossoms, you're amazing. Satchel still in one hand, just gives her a big hug. Thanks.
She is like a little surprised, but is like she's a hugger. It doesn't take much energy for her to translate that surprise into an equally hearty hug. She says, "Do you need anything from me? Otherwise, I'm going to tie myself to something."
Ooh, that's a really good idea. And I'm
That's a
gonna.
great idea. But
Well, I think
I
you're.
was wondering.
Oh, sorry. Uh,
It's just Glax. Sorry.
no, you can be there too. But she pipes in first to say, "Well, I thought you all had jobs. Like I have no skills at keeping things steady, but I think the captain said you guys gotta be helping in or pitching in when things go down."
Oh, absolutely. But should we be tied in somewhere in case this thing pitches and rolls?
I guess that's up to you.
All right. I'm gonna kind of repurpose my rope from my bag, kind of tie one end around to my belt, and keep the other like it looped up, and then have it hanging over one of my hand axes. That way, it's at the ready if I determine things are starting to go south. And then as I see any of our other team members, I'll let them know. Like, not saying we're gonna need it, but this might not be a bad idea.
No, that feels smart. Before running back up to the crow's nest and to the rigging, because we love jobs. I was just wondering, I thought it was such a lovely, kind gesture for Mary to send you that bag of spices. That was just truly
What
sensational.
an amazing gift! I can't believe. I'm so sorry that you didn't get to
Such a
enjoy it.
lovely gift. I know.
I'll be sure
I was
to
just
stop by
wondering-
and thank
I
her
mean-
when we get back.
Yeah, well, I bet we're gonna be back in consonance sooner rather than later. And if there's anything we can bring her from you,
Oh, well, I
if
mean,
there's any gift
it
you
seems
could
like
give in return.
I think. I might just stop by myself. It seems that there's going to be a couple of days where they're loading up the ship, so I might as well just go say hi.
Feels more than fair. But if we see her before you, I'll be sure to tell her you say hello.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Poor thing.
I'm pretty sure I told her that they weren't fond.
Uh-huh.
She didn't believe you though.
Well, unless there's any other preparation.
I'll be with the Null. I'm assuming she's up with the gunner up front, unless she's gonna move down.
She is tasked to help Drada with the sails. So she's going to be up top. So
I'd love to, if that's the case, I would love to cast Hunter's Mark on Null, not for the attack bonus, but just because it helps me track people.
just because
So she's getting blown in the wind, just so I know where she is.
That's fair enough, but I would love just the idea of like, I'm just going to cast Hunter's Mark on her and then unload 3 arrows at her just because.
Well, first I was gonna do the bit of like, I cast Hunter's Mark on the storm.
No, that's actually a very smart use of Hunter's Mark. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll annoy the hell out of him, but I will stand next to Willow in case he needs anything.
No, Moira grabs you and says, "We're up front."
All right, I'll move back.
I'll be with Willow, and I'll help however I can, but I will also give him guidance.
Okay.
Oh, that's smart. I'll give Moira inspiration.
Okay.
I'll be like, I know you don't think that I'm good at anything, but hopefully I will inspire you to do a good job. Put on the biggest smile. There you go.
She says, "Just keep an eye out. You know, anything you can do to be helpful. I'm sure the captain will appreciate it." She said, "Give me an insight check."
Why do I already know how she's feeling without this?
13's not bad. It's not actually quite what you think. Get the impression that in a dangerous situation, all hands on deck is like as long as you're being helpful, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Like she's trying to make the most. She doesn't know what you're capable of. She's trying to make the most of your help. She doesn't necessarily know how to use you, but you are helping, and she appreciates that.
Okay.
Um,
Hopefully she feels inspired, though.
she does. Remind me to use that when it comes up, because I might forget. Same with guidance.
While I'm helping Willow, I'm also going to consult my star map, because I never rolled Cosmic Omen.
That's fine. You do that during breakfast if you'd like. So, the wind starts to pick up. Just changing the music into something slightly different. The sort of temperature starts to drop as you get closer and closer to this storm. Willow sort of looks at you. Mouse is the person who's closest. Everybody else has sort of been made to go into position. And he sort of... Roll me a insight or perception check.
I'll go inside.
Okay. It's sort of, the tell is that he sort of like gulps. There's like a small bit of anxiety, and before he says, "So we're riding in then."
We can get off whenever you need us to. But the closer you get us, the better.
He looks straight, and you trail his eyes, and you can see that there's no visible sign of the island. And there's sort of an indication that like there's no avoiding going in to make sure that you have a safe arrival.
I appreciate your efforts. I believe in you.
He sort of steals himself a little bit and says, "We'll be fine." All right. He starts sort of shouting orders within the sort of moments that the ship is about to crest to crest the threshold of the storm. The weather starts to get dense and heavy, and you aren't quite sure which way. Oh, that's too much. I didn't expect it to just be completely invisible. You start to sort of lose a real sense of where you are, and visibility is sort of at an all-time low. Regardless to your vision or dark vision, most of you are struggling to see anything more than 10 to 15 feet in front of you. If those of you at the front of the ship, which is Moira and Aesop, could roll a perception check, and I will use her inspiration.
You said perception?
Yes.
Oh, bad.
Is it a D8?
It is. Not bad.
Not bad. But nonetheless, she doesn't really have the vision of what you see ahead. With an 18, the storm from the outside was pretty dark, but what you're going into is even darker. There's something almost unnatural about it. This is not like a typical weather pattern.
Okay. I'll scream out, "Unnatural heavy storm ahead! It gets darker, Willow. Captain Willow."
That is considered a success. Just let that be known. Willow is able to bring the ship 50 feet closer than he originally planned, as he sails with a little bit more confidence going into the storm. This speed, though, and the sort of clouds that are just rolling through the air, the winds are starting to pick up a little bit more violently. Willow's sort of shouting commands down to Drada and Now, saying, I need you to hold those sails really strong. I don't know if that's what Captain said.
Aye, Captain.
If you could both make strength checks. I know it's Drada's specialty. Or, sorry, athletics checks, which could be slightly better.
Oof.
Okay. The Drada, you're able to. It is a challenge to be able to hold on to the sail in a way that, like, Captain Willow is following more order or giving you more orders. He's telling you to sort of pull on the rope to change its directions and sort of align with his steering. But you see now, or it's more that you hear now behind you, seems to be struggling with her rope. And I would say that the other folks on the top of the deck, let's say Aesop and Mouse, if you can roll perception to see if you notice now struggling as well.
Oof.
Halflings.
Halfling.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I love that, like, Foundry just does it automatically, because otherwise I would always forget.
Yep.
I would too. I
Yeah.
get so sad and then see it roll again and get so happy.
Both of you see now struggling. She has no footing. The sail is sort of flapping in the wind. And Willow is starting to lose a little bit of control in this moment.
Does Drada have, like, his sail? Is it okay for the moment? Like, would he be able to run over?
You are having to hold on to it the whole time. There's
Okay.
constant pressure sort of pushing against it.
I think I would shout out, like, we need folks on the port mainsail. And now.
And am I below decks?
You're
I
you're
imagine.
below
Okay,
decks.
alright.
Yeah, you could hear this, but you also know that that your job, which is with Blossoms down at the bottom, is to sort of keep all the supplies secure as well.
Okay.
Am I able to run down there?
You could try.
I am slow.
I
I will try.
was about to say, Mouse, you got it.
Oh, I am both slow and not strong.
I could
question?
try if you're not comfortable.
I think you might have a better shot than I do.
As you guys are talking, Nal is like, help.
Okay.
Okay, also,
I
DM
will.
question.
Yeah.
Go for it, sorry.
No, go ahead. I gotta see how far. how long
Isn't
it's
that
gonna take me.
she's struggling to pull the rope, or that she's struggling to keep footing?
She is holding on to the rope, but she doesn't have anything to leverage it against. She doesn't.
Great.
So
If
she's
cast
losing her footing.
Entangle on her to secure her to the mast.
You could do that if you would like.
I think that is my first instinct, is to shoot off an entangle and try to literally bind her to the sail a little bit before making anyone else leave their post.
Okay. You do that. She willingly fails the save and is restrained. She's in a bit of an uncomfortable situation, but you feel like it's a little bit more secure than before. In this moment, because Entangle does require somatic components, but you sort of very quickly reach out your hand to as part of the Entangle cast and are able to release it. Aesop and Mouse, you sort of see this go off. Are you and you see that Nal is uncomfortable, but seems to be a little bit more confident in the situation. Is there anything you do?
I think I would shout out Nal. Nal, do you think you still need help?
I'll hold it as long as nothing else goes wrong.
I think I would stay.
Okay.
I will stay, but keep an eye and record. Hey, that was a smart use of entangle.
Now, the jostling of Nal trying to get the sails in order. This is kind of a bandage for the moment that Willow, through his steering, needs to be able to course correct on. And so Mouse, as you're sort of like assessing, this is all sort of happening in the heat of the moment as the winds are picking up, but you see that Nal has been actually, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm changing the order of things. Nal's situation has not yet been resolved, but we're gonna go down to the engine room really quick, because as this wind is pouring into the sails, and the ship sort of lurches just for a moment before Drada is able to sort of stabilize the situation, one of the pipes in the room snaps. You sort of see a couple bolts flying throughout the room, and now the pipe that had that was connected at a seam seems to be like completely detached. Phelan sort of looks towards you, because the whole time he's been sort of on maintenance duty on smaller repairs to keep this from happening. But because there was a small lurch as Nal was figuring things out, something has happened. So, Flint, what do you do to sort of resolve that?
I sort of imagine Flint's running around, helping fix things for the most part, and using his like telekinesis or mage hand or whatever, and mending and all that kind of stuff. And I think seeing this, would sort of leap into action to fix this, pulling out some of his smith's tools and trying to, get this pipe bent back into place, and using mending to get it sealed back as much as he can.
So these pipes are like, these are the larger pipes that are sort of blowing air into the outside. They are like 5-foot diameter pipes, which is a little bit beyond mending to just sort of hot glue them back together. Like the mending is for the little
Okay.
cracks.
I guess I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. How big are we talking?
Like a 5-foot diameter pipe has split entirely, and now needs to be somehow sealed again.
Can I yell downstairs to Clax to get up here?
You can make a persuasion check. Just this is more of like the amount that you can carry your voice over several walls.
I mean, he's just on the stairs from me, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that's true. There's stairs there. Yeah, okay, easy enough. What do you shout?
Clax, get up here! I need help bending a pipe.
On my way.
And
Like,
I think
immediately start sprinting.
Once Clax is up here, I'm gonna enlarge him to try and help get him to like bend this in place while I do what I can to seal it back. Yeah, because I don't have anything else to try to deal with a giant pipe like this.
I mean, what do you mean? So yes, Clax, you stumble up. You are enlarged. Flint directs you to sort of, and this is a pretty cramped space, but not enough to restrict your ability to do the job. Flint directs you to sort of like push down the part of the pipe that is sort of snapped upwards so that at least the pipes are aligned. And you're go ahead and give me a strength check, athletics check with advantage to sort of make sure you can do that.
1 second. Athletics. Okay, with advantage. Oh yeah, there's another 5, man. I'm big about the 5s today. All right, that's better.
That's better. It's not showing on the dice thing, but I saw a 17 plus.
Yeah,
something.
so did I.
Clax is able to get it in position. This is sort of a situation where now you need to somehow weld this shut.
Yeah, I don't know if some combination of like mending and like I don't know if I can use firebolt in that way to try to heat it and
not firebolt, but I will say Phelan reaches out and is going to do heat metal. Targeting the pipe. Now
I will suck it up and deal with it.
But this is... He's trying to focus it as much as he can on the rim of the pipe so that it can sort of be welded together, but it still needs some direction from you, Flint, in order to sort of creating molten metal at the edges that still need to be sort of guided into position. So if you can give me a Smith's Tools check to kind of
Sure.
I do have that damage, right? So 3 because I'm resistant to fire.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Oops.
Sorry, is this gonna be in dex strength?
This is probably going to be Dex, frankly, just because of the hectic level of the situation.
All right, then I'll roll sleight of hand.
Okay, 11. You're struggling a little bit, and Phelan has to... You aren't kind of getting it to the degree that you would like to just yet. Phelan maintains heat metal. Rolls really high. In order to give you more time. I do need you to roll again, though.
All right.
Okay. A 15 was the DC, so eventually you feel that it has that a seal has been made, but the metal still is hot and needs some kind of way to cool it down. Otherwise, it's just going to like hot glue that hasn't cured yet is just going to snap back out.
God, do I have anything for this? Just shatter the whole thing.
The ship explodes.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. Can I just look? Are there any like buckets of water in here or oil or anything?
Oil would be a bad idea, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, they quench swords in oil, but
yeah, and the oil catches fire.
Yeah.
In here, there's like a cup of water that Phelan has, but I don't think there's like a bucket. That would be downstairs in the supply.
What do I have to cool something off with? Anything fun in my inventory? I'm not opening a cask of brandy with it.
As Flint considers. Oh my god, these rolls are great. Clax, your hands, you are fire resistant, but your hand, you've been holding this molten hot pipe for like 18 seconds now.
Flint, a little bit of speed here. This is starting to hurt.
I mean, I don't have anything to cold things.
Can I?
If you hold on long enough, it will eventually cool enough.
It's just not. I'll.
Clax, do you have an idea?
Can I attempt my repulsion breath as like air to blow across it to reduce it, to cool it down? Not my enervating. So the enervating breath is the one that incapacitates. Repulsion just blows people
this is
away.
just wind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Give me a give me just roll your battle axe. I feel like this is like it's a targeting sort of way. So we're just using a standard roll.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a pipe that's in front of you. A 10 was all you really needed.
All right. And then let me just click on repulsion breath so I can.
Yeah, just exhaust it really quick.
There it goes.
Clax starts breathing, not breathing, but like pushing this. You go ahead and describe it for me as you're sort of cooling this.
So you see this enlarged Clax take a huge breath. Like you've seen him use breath weapons before, but he really fills the lungs and everything, and just kind of exhales, and this force of wind that you don't know, even with someone his size, like it still far exceeds. Like it's almost channeled right directly out, and you understand if somebody was standing there, they would probably knock it off their feet pretty easily, and he blows it all over the seam that was just welded by Flint.
And with that, you feel, Flint, you're sort of able to identify that the metal is reaching a coloration that is probably stable enough for Clax to remove his hands.
Fair. I will also go ahead. Well, how much damage did you actually take?
18 total.
18 total? Sure. I'll give you a cure wounds.
Thank you.
Because I am apparently useless.
During all this commotion down in the engine room, which did take some time to resolve, there was the engine that was going into the right sail started to fail. And the ship has been, so the ship lurched a little bit because of Nal, and it lurched a little bit because of the engine failure. Everything is stabilized at the end of the day, but Willow's sort of having issues at the steering wheel. So what does Mouse do to sort of try to help with that?
Do I think the steering of the ship is a navigation intelligence issue, or like a strength losing control of the wheel issue?
It seems like it's a little bit of both. He could either use, he needs to know which way to go because he's focused on the wheel, but he's sort of lost his ability to focus on multiple things at once.
Got it. I will cast Enhance Ability Intelligence on him, and then I will grab the wheel to help support so that he can focus on the navigation aspect and I can support the steering.
Okay. My feeling is that these are both roles for Willow. You are giving him the help action and you've cast a spell on him. So I'm going to roll we're going to roll a strength save to maintain control of the wheel with advantage because we're going to do athletics to maintain control of the wheel because you're helping, so he'll get advantage. It might have been disadvantage on accident. Nope, it's advantage. So the 20, he's able to, he has sort of firmly planted himself down, but you are sort of helping to provide the much needed support that he needs in that regard. And he just sort of looks down and nods at you before sort of scanning the horizon. And I was actually planning on this before he even chose intelligence, but it's sort of an investigation. He's trying to he's looking for the island. He's trying to get any sense. 15's not bad. Now, Clax, as you are, so I will say with all this, Nal has been able to sort of stabilize, although it was sort of a failure in the sense that between all the issues on the ship, the engine room was a success. Nal was a failure, but without damaging the ship. And Mouse and Willow are able to be successful by steering the ship and navigating it. But Klax, you do sort of hear from below deck, although you are enlarged in this moment, you hear Blossoms just going, "Oh God."
I'm going to do my best to shimmy down the stairs if I can, is still being enlarged, if at all possible.
You cannot fit while you're enlarged.
I'll turn to...
It only lasts a minute anyway.
I will make him not enlarged.
And then I will sprint down the below decks to see what's transpiring down below.
It's a little bit of chaos. You see that some of the supplies have flown off of the webbing that was set up to hold them. You see kind of I punch my microphone every time. You see a gash in Willow's forehead, and there's the impression is that you like a crate just hit her in the head.
Blossoms,
sorry. That a crate just sort of hit her in the head, and she's sort of like, she's fine, but she's sort of like prone on the ground and like panicking a little bit at the situation. At this point, everything has reasonably stabilized, but you know that if there's another lurch, that everything needs to be resecured.
All right, so looking at where things broke loose, is it just one set of like the cargo net, or is it all the cargo nets? Like,
it seems like one of the corners of this hold.
So then what I'll do is I will ask Blossoms for, are you all right?
Yeah.
All right, go grab that end of the net, pull it taut. So while she's pulling that taut, I'm going to grab the remaining crates that busted loose from that one and start hauling them over there in this calm and stack them back up. And then the plan is pull it tight, and then with the rope that I tied around my waist that I have handy, kind of loop around a couple sections there, pull it tight, run a knot through to another side of the wall, tie it off to the wall if I can, and then cut the excess off with one of my hatchets. And that's the plan. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Give me a... I mean, it's reasonably stable. However, while the rest of the ship has been controlled, it's not smooth sailing. This is heavy turbulence. So give me I would say, strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. Okay.
To sort of like be able to maintain your position and composure.
16.
There you go. Easy enough. Blossoms is sort of following your lead. I'm actually going to just roll for her.
Nope.
She's struggling a bit, but you think she's just a little shaken by it. But she's struggling a bit. She's helping out as much as she can. You rolled high enough, given that the ship is stable, to be able to keep anything from further going wrong. But it's at this time that you all hear from Captain Willow, who's just sort of shouting at a volume that can bypass the heavy winds of the storm. He says, "I'm getting you as close as I can. 150 feet. Ish. You need to be up here right now. We're leaving." And Mouse, you see, he sort of takes the steering wheel in a way that starts to turn it inward, but is also eventually going to arc out. He is not going through the island and then back. He's, dipping in and then dipping out. So there's a very tight window.
I wave everybody to get together and try to find Klax.
So on my way up, hearing the the command from Willow, I'm just gonna walk by Blossoms, be like, put pressure on it, grab her hand, put it on her head, run up the deck.
Good luck. You'll be great.
Thanks for the food.
DM, if I look over the edge up front, can I see the island below or no?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yes. You're in the thick of it's sort of a natural 20 is significant in this case because you look down and all this wind that is happening up here seems to be ever present on the ground too, and the sort of like desert savanna landscape below, you see that there's a major dust storm, and that the visibility up here is probably about equal to what you're going to be expecting when you get down. With a natural 20, right now you're just sort of spotting the island, but seeing what you see, I might give you some more information on your way down when it comes to the actual landing process.
Okay.
But one of the things you pick up immediately is just sort of, because you have been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Although the storm offers very little visibility, you see like some green, like a little bit. Something when you were here last time, completely sand,
Right.
just dunes, and it seems like there's some growth or life happening here now.
Interesting. Okay.
But you don't have time to digest that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like too focused on everything else. I was like, oh, okay, and then now we're gone. So I'll get with the group. I could see the island, major dust storm down there, so we're not going to get out of a storm, unfortunately. But I could just dimension door 2 of us down there.
Works for me. Just
I mean, if you want to take you and Clax, because you're the biggest.
You have to go now, says Willow.
Don't I have to turn into something?
Well, we can turn somebody else.
You have to go now. I turn to Clax and will cast polymorph on you.
Clax, I assume you don't attempt to resist this?
I let it go through.
And you all watch as Clax grows and sprouts giant wings and turns into a large flying manta ray. The kind of underside of which is very cloudy looking.
Love it.
So it'll kind of blend in with the sky a little bit. And as a flying manta ray, you can grapple something with your tail, and we can ride you.
All right.
We need to fly, not go through water.
It does both.
Cool. Okay. Mouse, Flint, go with Clax. Aesop, do you want a dimension door?
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll like clasp your arm, and as I'm looking over the edge, because I have to physically see it, I'll dimension door down. You said 150 feet?
Yeah, and with your previous perception check, you have spot on accuracy. You're able to see between the dust clouds that are coming in, you're able to see like just a moment where there is solid ground. What does it look like when you dimension door? When you missed a game, I made you use dimension door once, but I didn't describe what it looked like.
Okay. I imagine. I don't know why this immediately popped in my head, but I imagine when like the initial like blip happens where we just vanish, the word vanish pops, like it just the word like appears and it just also like pops as I vanish.
Love it.
And you all make it to the surface, but we're gonna get to that once everybody else gets down. Klax, you are a manta ray. Your intelligence is 6. You have a familiarity with who here is your friends, but you're like a little, and like I'd say you have a little bit of like uncomfortable, like discomfort with the wind around you. But you look down at your friends who seem to be expecting something from you. And you're at this moment, you're kind of like flying, like this is all happening in a short amount of time, but you're flying with the ship in a forward direction.
I guess I will try and get closer. So I'll kind of dip, if I'm on the port side, I'll kind of dip my right wing over, see if I can hold it for a minute, let people get on.
I try to run up its arm.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to get on this thing.
So you're both riding on its back then, or?
It sounded like we could. If it seems like a bad choice once we get started, I will prepare to wild shape myself into something small.
These two perhaps friends of yours just climb on back.
As soon
Flint
as
exchanges his glasses for like a pair of goggles somewhere.
as soon as I feel I'm stable, I just know I don't want to be in this storm. So I want to get down to the ground.
Klax, follow them! And I point towards Aesop, where they popped, and
Where you think Aesop is, but you haven't actually looked down to see. Go ahead and... So, Klax the manta ray floats off of the ship. And those of you who are on Klax, you see Willow just sort of like give a quick salute before the ship just sort of continues on its way. But Mouse and Flint, go ahead and roll me a perception check to try to spot your friends.
Oh, did we accidentally split the party?
That's fine.
Hey, Aesop, you have anything like fun and magic that would help
do.
our friends see where we are?
So, can I see them above us?
No.
Okay, great.
Definitely not. You see the ship lurching away. You have no idea if your friends are still on it or not.
Okay. I would still think that they
Actually,
need to know.
I'll let you roll. Sorry, I will let you roll perception check, but
Okay,
do it
Aslan.
with.
I try to find them as well.
Yeah, both of you roll perception with disadvantage, and Klax rolls stealth with advantage as a manta ray.
All right, so as a manta ray, though, do I have access to that character sheet?
You should be able to click on the token on the map.
Oh, sorry. I rolled twice for some reason.
got it.
But that was a 1 initially. So that would be 1.
The list I got says nice 16.
Again, it didn't pop up,
Yeah,
but it's a 12.
Okay. Okay, so Aesop, you cannot see the sort of manta ray at all, but Drada, you're able to sort of see, whereas like the belly of this creature almost blends in with the clouds, which is actually an ability of its that I'm just going to post here.
Ooh.
That you are able to see the outline of it against these clouds by looking very keenly up. The visibility is still pretty poor, but you could point it out to Aesop.
Aesop, it's that. No, a little to the left, a little to the left.
Oh, okay.
It's a little closer to the ship. Okay, keep following
Okay.
your finger. Follow my...
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, okay, let me
Okay.
just... Uh-huh. Okay. So I'm gonna...
Right there.
As I'm pointing up, I will cast Major Image. Let me make sure that what I want to do works. No larger than a 20-foot cube. Okay. Sure. So what? Oh wait, what's the range? Oh god. 120 feet. Great. So probably about the 75-foot range of the spell, just pointing upward in that direction. I'll cast the major image, and it will be of my face in very pretty colors.
You all see that.
Do I have enough wherewithal to
With
go towards that?
you know, I would say with a friendly nudge from your crew, for lack of a better word, you would know which direction to go.
Mouse is yelping and squealing and just sheer delight at flying on a manta ray through a storm.
Yeah, I think Flint's pretty excited. Full daredevil, mode, to put it or frame it as earlier. Very excited.
Ooh, a new map.
And as you all float down on Clax the Manta Ray, down into the Savanna Island, we're going to take a break as you safely land in rendezvous with your party without terrible damage to the ship, presumably. They still have to make their way out.
I'm
That'll be
sorry,
fine.
y'all. I thought Dimension would be like alleviate a lot of the issues with the original plan, so I just did it.
Oh, it did alleviate
Yeah.
a lot of
I mean,
issues.
It was a great idea.
Being able to see the ground with the net, like the DC was going to be a 20 to see the ground. Otherwise, you were going to be guessing, and we would have seen what happened. But you made it,
Yeah.
so.
All right.
All right, we'll be back.
You guys got this.
So, in this moment, Klax is still a flying manta ray. You've set down, and so everybody can hop off. But I want to go over a few things about the Savanna Island, like rules-wise, before you get too heavy into this leg of the adventure. The Savanna Island is sort of going to involve a set of slightly different rules because it is a dangerous journey. Between the wind, rain, and constant dust storms, resting is much harder. A short rest, which will be enough to stave off exhaustion, will take 8 hours. A long rest, in order to recover all of your long rest spells and abilities, will take 3 days and must happen in a safe haven. You cannot just duck into a cave and get a long rest. This is a harsh, gritty, racking environment, and that is sort of presented to you as you land into this dust storm, this active dust storm. There's sand blowing in your face. There's mist blowing in your face. It is incredibly uncomfortable. The sound of wind sort of screaming past you at sort of random intervals is difficult and challenging. The ability to sleep without a real high-quality shelter will be challenging. So, keep that in mind as you decide what abilities to use or not use, is that you will, on a given day, be taking short rests most of the time. But, and that sort of, in character, that sort of hits you as you are all settling in. You have probably just a moment of like, what did we sign up for? As you know, you realize that there was a storm on the horizon that was pretty ugly, and you've ridden headfirst into it, and it's only now that you're realizing the gravity of that and how dangerous this could be. Sorry, one last thing. The degree of the weather might shift from day to day. The rest rules are going to stay that way, but some days there may be a strong enough wind that it will influence ranged weapon attacks. So just let that be. Ranged weapon attacks or perception checks that rely on sight. So just keep that in mind as well.
Question. On a short rest over 8 hours, are we still able to re-prep spells even if we're not getting spell slots?
Yeah, you can re-prepare spells, you just don't get the slots back.
Perfect, thank you.
That was exactly my question.
And if you have any abilities that say they recharge at the beginning of a day versus a long rest, I don't know that anybody has those because I checked. Those technically would recover as well. And when you... we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I'm pretty sure most of your guys' stuff is short rest or long rest. But you are now... Klax, you're just sort of like... I imagine the manta ray sort of landed in a way that's just like, it's just flopping on the ground a little bit right now. As a manta ray, you're just trying to get out of the blowing winds, and sort of like anchor yourself a little bit around your friends. But you are all standing in this windstorm with sort of close enough to each other to see each other, but the sound does make it where you have to speak up a little bit in order to hear each other.
I'm sorry.
It'll be fine.
Why are you apologizing, Aesop?
Well, when I mentioned that we should probably, or I should probably go see my parents and make sure they're okay, I did not imagine it would be this bad.
Do you have any idea where they might be here?
DM, this is a long shot question. However, I still ask it. Do I remember the area that I was at when I was initially here for the first time?
Roll me a history check with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, a wisdom check with disadvantage. It's not even history.
Sure.
It's your memory.
Sure. I'll roll twice since the first time I attempted it did not go well. So I'll roll twice. Wisdom check. There we go. So that would be a 10.
What would two things would occur to you with a well, no, one thing would occur to you is that you don't know exactly where they would have sat down, but you know that standard procedure would be to be somewhat central to have access throughout the island. Like you wouldn't set up camp here on the edge that you landed on, because if you have to go to the bottom, it's a long hike. So you would set up somewhere centrally.
Okay. I'll relay that to the group. Probably the center of the island. They would want to get a good measure of the entirety of the island, so they would set themselves up in the center. However, we don't really know what the center is from here.
You also don't actually have a map. This is for player visuals. But you know that you landed on the northwestern edge.
Well, start heading southeast and see what happens. Do you remember how big this island is?
Not as big as Ventus.
That's
Well,
a
that's
really helpful metric.
Yeah.
Is there any, as far as like looking for signs of folks having been here, like anything we should be looking at that they might have brought with them, or anything they might leave behind?
3 airships. And they would 4
Four.
airships. And they would definitely have scouts. To keep an eye around their base. Don't know how far out, but they would definitely have some. I don't know if they would be flying an airship in this weather, but maybe we could see an airship from a distance, because they're pretty hefty.
Your visibility is about 15, 20 feet right now.
Right.
Do you think it is worth trying to occasionally signal to hopefully attract any of those like scouts? Or are we more likely to attract monsters or something? I don't know how dangerous we expect this place to be.
Well, based on what I was told from the mission, is that it's dangerous because of elemental drama. I could put something in the air that, I mean, they wouldn't be able to read. I don't think elementals can read common.
Well, I was just thinking every hour or so I could shoot like a firebolt or something into the air, just as like a flare, essentially.
I can also do major image twice.
Well, I would be very conservative with our spell usage while we're here.
Right.
No one gets spells in this party. No one gets spell slots back from short rests, right?
Correct. Only warlocks can do that.
Okay.
I do get wild shapes.
Yeah. Wild shapes and superiority dice for Clax.
And
the
inspiration for me.
Yes, and inspiration.
Okay. Well, if we ever are in need of safe haven and cannot seem to find any, I'm happy to take y'all into a fun little cave I can summon. Love rope trick.
Rope trick is not going to be enough to get a long rest, I will say.
Oh, true. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you need.
We need a quick break from the elements for
yes.
fun.
I guess get walking.
If we come across someone, is there a code word? Is there some way that we can identify ourselves?
I would say mentioning the general of the recovery squad would probably be best. And if we're ever separated and we find any of the Minotaurs or people from the organization, mention the name General Hardak.
By the way, Klax is just still a manta ray.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. You can fly. It's fun.
For
I mean-
another 50 minutes.
While you're a manta ray, it might not be a terrible thing to fly and scout around a little bit or something. Don't get too far. You can't find us. But
You are pretty stealthy.
Do I understand what was just relayed to me?
No, not at all. Your friends are like your friends are looking at you and sort of scratching their chins, and you're just like, the sand is cold.
I will, assuming he can fly close enough that I can still hear everyone, I will stay with Klax and just, hopefully bring comfort. I know that I can't, communicate, but just, continue reassuring that I'm a friend.
I can, I don't think I could talk to him, but I think as a forest gnome, I can convey simple ideas and I guess it's
only
just
small
a
creatures.
small piece. All right, never mind.
This is like your woodland friends, not your flying manta rays.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Manta rays are in the woods.
Oh, yeah, of course, all the time.
Yeah.
The forest rays.
All right. Well, never mind then.
Shall we spread out 10 feet from each other in a line and start moving forward to see if we can find a scout or find your people?
Do
Yeah.
we want to connect each other with some rope before doing so?
Klax had the rope. I do not have any either.
I'm sure I've got some of the.
Oh, by the way, DM, how much
Yeah,
rope do I
also
need
think
to
I
take
have
off?
some.
Take off my inventory. I meant to ask that
kind
earlier.
of I'm not the DM who's going to make you count your rope.
Okay.
I'd say just make a mental note that you used maybe 10 feet of it.
I've never used this before, and I remembered that I had this because it's not on my character sheet in Foundry. But I will do me, Mouse, Klax, the Manta Ray, and I guess Flint. Sorry, Drada. You can only do 4. I'm gonna do universal speech. Chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. And it's a long rest ability.
I don't even know that you...
I didn't either because it's not on the Foundry character sheet, but it's on my D&D Beyond one.
I must have just forgotten to add it when you leveled up to that. Okay. Yes, this is College of Eloquence. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So you're trying to communicate to Klax with this? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I'll look at Mouse first and be like, Klax should be able to understand us if we want to send him forward to Scout. So I'll look at Klax and be like, hey, Klax, respond if you can hear me. Understand me.
Flops around a little bit.
Great. I'll take that as a yes. If you want to scout ahead and see if you can find anything for 20-25 minutes and then come back in the same direction, just hopefully you can find us, but that might be something useful to find any remnant of where the squad is.
Can I tell if he understands?
I think Klax is responding, previously was just sort of lying motionless in the sand, but now is sort of like there's a call and response of like when Aesop says something, Klax flops, and it looks like Klax was about to take off. Is it what it looked like? Yeah.
Flint, Mouse.
Seems like a
He's gone.
good idea to me.
You will see Klax the Manta Ray sail away. In a like southeast direction. Is that accurate?
If I can tell what direction is southeast, sure.
Yeah, they pointed that way.
Oh yeah, wherever they pointed, I'll go.
Okay. Roll me a perception check
Ooh.
with disadvantage because of
Oh.
the storm.
Does
Still
have
an
blind
8.
sight for 60 feet? I know 60 feet's not that far when you're scouting, but
Still would have been an 18 with disadvantage.
Very
18,
good.
18 is good. I'm sorry. Say that again, Lily.
I think it has blind sight up to 60 feet.
Yep, it does.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it has. I would say, then we'll just take the 25. We'll say it was not with disadvantage. In this particular instance, assuming that you're not flying 800 feet in the air.
Oh, it's staying pretty close to the ground, just kind of.
You sail forward. It seems that the I'm trying to imagine blindsight. Blindsight is different than tremor sense. Blindsight is just like, it's not based on vibrations or anything. It's just sort of like a natural presence around you. I imagine that you can sort of see what you're. I'm going to treat it sort of like sonar in a way that sort of can distinguish shapes, but you, in the time that you were allotted by your friends, you sort of sail southeastward and see just sort of not a whole lot of changing landscape. There's a lot of sand being blown around, dunes that are moving. There's a couple trees that are sprouting up here and there, a couple like sandstone boulders that are out of place. It's sort of, at one point, you do see what seems to be like a commotion, but it's sort of on the edge of your periphery. You'd have to get a little closer to, not too close, but just a little closer to understand it.
Bank towards the direction of the commotion.
Oh my god, this one song.
Yeah, it got loud right there.
It gives very Mass Effect.
Yeah,
Yes!
yes,
Yes!
it's the
100%.
Reapers for sure. Okay, I'm gonna turn this song down though, because that is just too much.
Such a good game.
You come closer, maybe like 40 feet from the ground, and see in front of you make an intelligence check. I want to put this into your manta ray perspective.
Just a straight intelligence check.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not a super high DC, but
it doesn't need.
hey,
Oh,
amazing.
Ooh.
All right.
You don't know what these are, but Klax, when he returns, will be able to sort of remember.
Okay.
And so what Klax will remember upon returning is that there's sort of like a water elemental that is sort of clashing with an earth elemental, and every time they hit each other, there's sort of like a rock will fly with the natural 20, like a rock will fly off and like merge with a splash of water, and it will land into like a little puddle that starts to move into like a ball of mud. It seems like something about these things clashing is creating
Hybrid elements?
an offspring, yeah, like a hybrid offspring of some sort, but they're clearly fighting. You sort of observe for a short amount of time before knowing that you need to circle back, and you see that although diminished, the earth, it seems like the water is eventually exhausted, and then there's like an earth elemental that's sort of smaller in stature, that's like walking around with this army of like little mud creatures, and they start heading in a northeast direction. Which Clax would only really discern because of the natural 20. Like, they from the major race perspective, they just go that way, away from the party.
Okay.
But you start to circle back, and is there the rest of your party sort of doing anything, or you're just sort of settling in, waiting for Clax?
I imagine we'd start walking in that sort of direction-ish, so that he'll still have to pass us to come back to us, and we'll run into him, but...
I agree.
checked my inventory. We got that good 50 feet of rope.
I
Good,
also
good.
have 50 feet of rope.
Man,
Heyo. But yeah, I think it is wise to tie it around our waists and keep us together while we cannot see.
as a note, as you start to walk, this entire landscape is difficult terrain. So the hours that are tracked when you're using the ruler on this map already account for that. But just keep that in mind on the battle maps that you will be moving at half speed.
Assuming it is from natural sources, I ignore difficult terrain.
Well, your party doesn't, but
Yeah, but I'm no longer the slowest.
yeah, I tend to think it's like the ground is just, it's not quicksand, but it's like a little swampy or muddy or something, and Mouse is just sort of able to walk on top of it.
This whole island is just very anti-flint. It will move 2 tiles in combat.
Eventually, Clax, you spot your party and drift back down, and the spell ends, and you sort of pop out.
Immediately walk over to Mouse and say, "Mouse, that was awesome.
Right?
Like, that was really cool. What is that thing?"
It's a manta ray. I've always wanted to do that.
I have no clue what a manta ray is, but that was really I recommend doing it. It was really fun.
We have them back home.
I really want to see this island you come from at some point. All right, though. Since now I'm back and we're kind of shouting over this wind, so southeasterly direction from here, I ran into a water elemental and an earth elemental fighting each other. The funny thing was, I think the earth elemental won, but every time they collided, there was like a piece of mud that came off that spawned into their own little things. Now there's an earth elemental with a bunch of little guys running around it that went off in what I would think is northeastish from the southeast part I was at, so somewhere over there. So I don't know if we want to go that direction. Other than that, I didn't really see anything, so not sure where to go, but we came from there, so I think we go that way.
As best she can in the rain, Mouse will try to commit all this to memory to write down using her cartographer's tools to try and start mapping the island once we find a dry place to do so.
Very good. I assume you all head in a non-colliding direction with what Clax has directed.
Yeah, we don't need to deal with mud elementals. Mud.
Well, who's taking the lead? What is the marching order in this sort of situation?
I think Clax would probably volunteer to take lead because he at least has an idea for this stretch.
I can also help. I'm pretty good at finding a path.
Don't worry, Mouse. I'll protect you if anything comes up.
I'm faster than you.
I was gonna say Mouse is
No.
speedy here.
You are.
Rada can be near-ish the front just for... Yeah, his eyes are good, and having good eyes feels helpful right now.
Flint's just trying to keep up.
Yeah, I'll be in the back helping Flint.
We're coming with a marching order that is in this downward direction, or let's go more like that, because that's sort of where you're going. Although you'll start going down because you'll eventually hit this lake that you don't know about yet. But all right. Well, it seems like Mouse is technically in the lead, and that Klax is just sort of maybe assisting in that regard. But tell me. So we've determined a marching order, but like, what is the stance that you're taking in this instance? As I accidentally shape all of our characters into a penis shape. Sorry, continue.
As we sort of know the direction we're trying to go, I think, and especially with Klax kind of looking ahead, Mouse is trying to find the easiest path for her comrades, like keeping an eye on the ground and what we're traversing over, while also looking for any signs of other creatures. Particularly Minotaurs. Tracks.
So you're kind of all over the place. There's sort of like survival nature perception in there. So
Hey,
if you could choose a direction, like choose a focus, perhaps. I'll let somebody else roll one of the other ones.
Can percept if you want to do something else.
I was gonna say survival, looking for focusing on the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and roll survival. And then draw to roll perception with disadvantage.
No good today.
Not bad, frankly. So, with a survival of 12, progress is a little slow, at least in this first 4 hours of your journey. The environment, you're taking some getting used to in this environment. You're making sure that you don't separate too much. Trying to keep a mental note about the whole 50 foot of rope thing and how that plays into this formation, but we'll get there if it matters. But nonetheless, you are making some progress, although the challenge with the survival of 12 Mouse is that you're not really getting any feedback from the land. There's no footprints. There's nothing that, like, footprints wouldn't survive in this sort of hostile environment. And so the idea that you could track somebody, unless they leave behind some very clear clues, is just a difficult thing to imagine. But you progress onward, and with a perception of 13, the moment you feel like there's not much to perceive. You also, despite the sort of storm cover, you do see that dusk, like it is starting to get perceptibly a little bit darker as dusk is starting to dawn around, or to come around. It's not nighttime yet, but you have been awake for probably 14 hours or so.
Yeah, it's starting to get late, friends.
Does anybody see any campsites that we could make? Any shelter?
No.
I haven't yet.
How much longer can we push on?
You could do one, like, without the risk of exhaustion, you could probably do one more 4-hour sprint. But that would be bringing you pretty late into the night.
I say we push on.
I think we keep going until we find somewhere that looks half decent for a campsite. But
Agreed.
we see anywhere that looks good, we stop.
I think at this point, Drada is less looking for potential elementals and more just anything that looks like shelter.
Because I seem to be a little bit better here than some of you, should I, never thought I'd be saying this, maybe get a little bit ahead and see if I can fan out a little bit and find some sort of shelter? No offense, guys, but I'm better at navigating this land, and I'm almost twice as fast as you.
That's absolutely fair. If you're comfortable going out into the island on your own, I think that would be a great idea.
I won't get very far, but if I can zigzag a little bit, maybe I can cover more ground and find us some place to pull over.
Smart.
Yeah. Not have to lose, eyesight on us for too long.
I just confirming that there's no way I can see the stars, right?
Not in a way that is sort of easy to leverage. Like throughout the storm, you might see it's not like a completely overcast sky. It's like clouds that are sort of swirling around, which is like a bit unnatural to you. So you are able to sort of see them now and then, but it's hard to piece together the entire sort of star system at any one time.
Okay, that's good to know.
We'll make sure Mouse has one of my flashlights, essentially, before she runs off, just to make her easier to spot in this if need be.
Okay. So Mouse, you're sort of, how far forward are you trying to look?
Oh, they're so slow, and I'm not very strong. I don't think I would get more than 100 feet away from them. I'm afraid to go too far. But Mouse wouldn't be. No. Mouse is going to go fairly far ahead. She's far braver than I am. So she'll go ahead and then turn back every half hour and touch base.
Okay. And you're looking for shelter?
Any kind of shelter. A cave, a tree that seems particularly well shielded. Anywhere we could camp for the night.
Okay. Go ahead and give me investigation check with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
This sort of innate passive disadvantage will go away once you guys become more familiar with the environment. But at the moment, it's all sort of just like a bit unnatural.
Yeah.
You start to go out, and it just seems like dunes and more dunes, and there's an occasional small boulder here and there, but nothing that has like an overhang to get under that would fit your party. There's a few trees, but they're all, one thing to note is that these are not fully grown, like giant oak trees or anything. They all seem like they just started growing. A tree that must have grown or been planted within the last year. They're not tremendously big. And it sort of just, as a somewhat nature person, that just sort of strikes you as strange as well. So, and there's like a couple brushes or like shrubberies and whatnot, but nothing big and substantial. So in the time that you spend, you're not able to really discern anything that you think would satisfy the party's needs. The rest of the party. Who's keeping watch while Mouse is gone?
Well, I thought we were still moving in the same direction.
Yeah, yes, but I suppose who's leading? Is it still?
I'd take point then.
Okay. And I think Drada was also sort of like in the middle at that.
Drada's
like, peeping, looking for shelter as they go as well.
Go and both of you give me a perception check.
Andrada, do a lot better than me.
With disadvantage. Okay, so far so good. Hey.
Ooh.
All right, drop that. Hey!
Hey,
Hey, I'll take it.
good.
Nice.
I don't know why mine aren't showing up, but
No, it's fine. Both of you who are sort of keenly trying to trail behind Mouse, there is a echoing sort of reverberation in the sky. And you all sort of just pause for a moment. As you see like what seems like a dark cloud above you starts to form into the shape of a giant bird of some kind. Now, none of you saw the creature that Mouse probably described on the ship. But when Mouse described this creature, it was white fluffy clouds. This is a dark storm of crackling energy that is sort of circling you.
Hide in the sands.
Say it again.
Sorry.
I just didn't hear you.
Oh, hide in the sands.
No,
Can you not hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
hear
So
you.
we can.
Okay.
I just didn't understand what you said at first.
Okay.
I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
That include mouse.
Not Mouse. Mouse hears this back towards the party, but is not affected by it. Aesop and Flint. And Drana. You all feel this. It's like you're shaken to your core, not in a frightful or fearing way, but there is a sort of like a thunderous eruption within your chest that reverberates from this sound that you're hearing above you.
We just
And
feel
you
something.
and you take 12 damage if you failed, which is
Okay, there you go.
That's
to be clear. 12 thunder damage.
Okay.
Half for passing or none for passing?
It is none for passing.
Wow.
Um,
That. Okay. Wait. Nope. I have to add 10.
And if
more
we could
to
just
that.
roll some initiative while we're
I was
at it.
just about to ask, is just screaming flying past us, or is it attacking us? But I guess I got my answer.
Mouse,
Wait for the
you are down in the bottom right corner, just so you know. Let me bring our good friend out. Not that far. And let's get everybody, including Mouse, into this initiative. Oops. Sorry, breaking everything.
My combat carousel's not loading.
There we go.
There, okay, there it goes. Okay.
Oops. I think I just rolled for somebody on accident.
Hey, my fourth 5 of the night. Go figure.
Lord jeez.
My combat carousel is weird. Okay. I
Of
think I
course.
accidentally re-rolled for Drada, but I'm just going to let Drada take the higher roll. Because I don't know which one was ours. And then I guess Drada would also probably have Gift of Alacrity, or would Mouse have potentially saved that?
I clicked it this morning at breakfast, so
Okay.
if it's been 8 hours, yes.
Okay. Then, Drada, can you roll me a D8? And we'll add this to your roll. Hey, there you go. You kind of needed that.
now I see 2 Dradas.
Yeah, I think I fucked something up. Okay, removing Drada number 1. How do I actually change your initiative? Click to roll. Okay. We're gonna let you go first as this combat begins, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to insert you into the order. But you see this dark storm cloud that is formed into the shape of a bird that is flying about 60 feet above you all. I'd loosely put it there, but when it did the caw, it was sort of right over you.
Cool. I think the first thing that Drato would do is like when Mouse described it earlier, fluffy clouds and like was circling the ship but wasn't attacking it. So I think Drato would try to scan for like, is this like, again, we were shaken to our core and took damage. Is this thing trying to eat us, or is this like a show of force and we just need to like respect it and leave it be? Just like suck it up.
I will set a DC, but I want to ask, how much of your turn are you willing to commit to this, knowing that you are a first turn character? Like, are you willing to spend your bonus action, your action?
I mean, I think Drata's instincts would be like, especially given, if I remember correctly, like ranged attacks don't do super hot here. I think Drata would be willing to. I think Drata would spend an action trying to perceive. Be willing to spend his action trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, or a bonus action, and then use bonus action either to like dash or to hide.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me.
I don't think he's shooting this giant bird.
Okay. In that case, give me either an insight check or a nature check. Okay. Your instinct with a 16 is that this creature, you don't necessarily know what it wants, but you know that it is acting somewhat protectively, and that in this moment it is seeking harm.
Okay. I think like, I do not know if I can do a perception check on top of this, but my thought is like, it's a bird. Is there an egg? Like, are we encroaching on a nest?
I would say probably not this turn.
Yeah. But I think I could shout out like, we got an angry one. And yeah, I guess use my. Okay, and sorry, is this map taking into effect have distances?
No, it's not.
Okay, great. So I guess I don't know how helpful it would be, but I'd probably try to shimmy out of the rope, and start moving and try to like bonus action hide behind this rock just to get some cover. Because I don't think I want to go close. I think I don't want to go deeper into like this tree-ish jungly area if I think that it's protecting something.
Okay. Go and roll me a hide check if you don't mind. Okay. 20 is pretty good. I do want to, we haven't done combat in so long, but also I think that, just so you know, Rangers. Wait, is it Rangers or is it Rogues? There's the optional.
One of the two classes.
I think it's the Tasha's. I think it's Rogues. It's the Tasha's optional rule that you can use your bonus action to get advantage on a shot, which would counteract the disadvantage in one case. Now
it uses up like all your movement and bonus actions.
Yeah, you can't move. Yeah, you have to stand still. Bonus action and
and like just aim.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will be friendly and say that normally when you have a disadvantage and advantage, you can't sneak attack because it counts as disadvantage. But because this is an environmental issue, not a sort of like being stealthy issue, I will still allow sneak attack in those instances.
Great. Yeah. For future rounds of combat, sure. I don't think Drado wants to shoot round one.
Yeah, that's fair. That is the end of Drada's turn. It is the Ancient Stormcrow's turn. It is circling around and is just going to... It seems to be sort of assessing the battlefield at the moment. But it is going to once again use its Thunderous Caw ability. If I would say, based on how it's... Hold on, I should actually measure its distance and not just sort of willy-nilly. The place that it would use its Caw would actually only catch Aesop and Flint. So if the two of you could roll a Constitution saving throw. Flint, you suffer 12 thunder damage as this pulses in your chest once again. Aesop, you're able to just sort of shrug it off in this particular instance.
Whew.
But Aesop, it is your turn.
Great. Flint, you're looking hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the range?
I'd say it also came down 50 feet. Or sorry, it came down 10 feet, so now it's only 50 feet in the air.
So I'm gonna move here. Nope. Come on, work with me. Okay. Can I just... Yeah. We're gonna move here 15 feet, because that's all I have. And I will cast Cure Wounds on Flint.
Okay.
I'll do it at first. Not bad.
Indeed.
What's the plan?
Good question.
All right.
Do you bonus action at all, or?
I will give a Bardic Inspiration to Flint as I touch him to heal him. Being imbued with inspiration. So, Flint, you have a D8.
I forgot to change the darkness levels a little bit. I
There you
think
go.
everybody's still fine. And at this moment, it's still not dark enough for Drada, I will say. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Flint.
Well, as far as Flint can tell, this thing is trying to kill him and is halfway done it already. So Flint's gonna shoot it because he can't run away from whatever it's grumpy about him being near fast enough for it to not kill him anyways.
I'm sorry, before your turn, it's going to use a legendary action to detect. I forgot about that. So we're just going to give it a perception check to see if it is able to see our good friend Drada. As far as you know, it can't. But sorry, continue.
Yeah. Flint will shoot a firebolt at this thing. You said these are at disadvantage?
Not. I don't think a firebolt is. I consider it to be like physical projectiles, not magical projectiles.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. So wait. So would
Doesn't matter.
Drada's shot then count?
Sorry, say that again.
Does a Drada's magically infused crossbow be?
It creates ammunition. It doesn't. It's not magical
Okay, cool.
ammunition per se. That's my read on it, at least.
Love that. Okay. Change of action next round. Great.
A 8 does not hit, of course,
Yeah.
as it sort of sails past.
Yeah, I'll just move one. I only move one step this way. So I will move away from it. That's my turn.
Oh. My entire screen just refreshed. Okay. It is Mouse's turn.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Call Lightning. I think I can get it about here.
Oof.
We are in a storm, so I think I get an extra D8.
Extra D10. It says.
But yeah, I will, when I cast it, call down lightning on his spot.
Onto the crow.
Yes, and it's a dex save.
Okay. It does succeed. Did it? Oh yeah, it already adds the D10. That's what the second number is. I see.
Okay, so it would be 27 halved to 13.
Okay. As you unleash this lightning into it, it reacts in a sort of like hurt way, but you also see that some of the lightning was captured within the storm cloud of this creature. So it's sort of like cause in a pained way, but it seems that the cloud has only gotten darker.
Oops. And I'll run my 25 feet closer, but that's my turn.
Love absorb elements. It's great.
It's not absorb elements. It's something else.
Ooh.
Clax, you're up.
Yeah, wonderfully, there's not a ton of stuff I can do. Because, nope, that's not what I wanted.
Because flying creatures are hard for fighters?
Yeah, believe it or not, they're a little bit of a challenge for me. Please, sorry. Measurement control. I feel I'm in the right spot, but alright, I'll worry about that later. I'm going to just run up, so half movement, so I get 15 feet of movement. 5, 10, 15. And I'm going to attempt to throw one of my hand axes at it.
Okay. That would be a disadvantage.
Correct. Yep. Alright, so I have a feeling I don't even need to roll the disadvantage at this point, but... Oh, well, no, 17. Yeah, so I do. So 9 plus... Sorry. What was the first one? Plus 6, so... 15, because I can do math. Wow, that was way too difficult.
No, it's fine. 15 does hit.
Alright. So it was 12 slashing.
The axe sort of disperses some of the clouds. You actually see the axe sort of like arc through it, and it gives another gasp of pain, and then the axe sort of like lands down past it. So you wouldn't be able to. Your axe is like over here somewhere.
Okay.
But it does seem to take damage. Not as much as you were expecting.
Kind of assumed, but I think that is my turn. Other than that, I'm just gonna have my shield ready, and yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Drada, it is your turn.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot this bird.
So just to make sure, in case I misrepresented,
I would love to had the options. Go through the options.
Yes. So steady aim is a bonus action. You give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on the current turn. So by doing so, you won't be able to move, and that's only for your first attack.
Okay. And as of right now, if I were just to take the shots, they would be at disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay. think in the long run.
I could just because you're hiding. So one of the things I never am quite sure I agree with normal D&D rules, which is to your advantage if I disagree with it, is like the idea that 2 advantages don't undo one disadvantage and give you advantage. So in this instance, I'm going to say because you're hiding, and because you're hiding, you already have a steady roll. If you do deadly aim, you'll have advantage. Or sorry, whatever aim it is, steady aim.
I don't think I will use steady aim this round. I think instead I will hunter's mark this here bird.
Okay.
But then I will take 2 shots on it and hopefully sneak attack.
Yes. You will lose your cover after these 2 shots, so you will no longer be hidden. But for this round, you may do that.
And then we may, yeah.
25 does sure hit.
Yeah. Okay, and then extra d6 for hunter's mark of it all. 10. How exciting. And a second.
18 also does hit.
Great. And then an extra d6. And then cute. And then sneak attack is 2d6, I'm trying to remember.
For your level, I believe that's true.
I believe you are. Yes.
Ooh, not bad.
Oh, okay.
These arrows sink directly into the cloud and stick there. Something about the sort of magical ammunition gives form to this bird, whereas other things seem to be sort of passing through it. And it yells in pain.
Love that. And I think Drado would just, again, can't hide, but would take action to try to get at least partial cover behind the other side of this rock or under that tree if Drado can make it.
Yeah, they're not really like tall trees, but you can stand sort of next to it.
Behind this rock.
There you go. It is the crow's turn, who has been angered in a way that it doesn't find too keen at the moment. It is going to start to sort of circle down in the direction of where it has sort of taken the most damage. It is going to swoop past Clax as it gets down low towards the ground.
Lack of opportunity close or still above me for that?
It is... I mean, I'm reading its things.
Take your time.
Yes, you will get an attack of opportunity. It is sort of raking 2 claws down towards you.
Oh, okay, so it is going to attack me. Okay.
Yes.
All right. 17 misses.
Okay. 1 more claw. It's basically doing a...
Oh!
Does that...
Silvery bars!
Yeah, I will cast Silvery Barb on that.
So subtle.
Yeah.
Okay, I will re-roll that. 20.
That will hit.
Okay. Still take
Better
12
than a
damage.
natural 20.
12 damage. As it sort of is doing a flyby, you can get a single swipe at it as it comes past you.
Ooh, 14.
14
Probably does not hit.
Does hit.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
So 11 slashing with my
With your
infused
magical
battle
weapon,
axe.
yes.
Yep.
and it continues its swoop towards Drada, but is starting to arc upwards. And as it passes Drada, it throws like a sonic wave in your direction. I'm assuming a 19 hits, but you feel a pulse.
What is the plus 11 on this thing?
Has the word ancient in it.
I know. Still.
You feel a pulse of thunderous energy hit you. That's sort of like a targeted version of that caw from before, as it swoops back upwards. Now 30 feet in the air, but sort of above Drada.
Great. I will sure use. No, I won't. Ignore me. Never mind.
Aesop, it is your turn.
Since Flint and Clax are the closest to me, I'll be like, I gotta try something because I don't have a lot of spell slots. So I will. He might have taken too much damage already, but I'm gonna try. I will scream out in Primordial since there's probably a lot of cacaine and just the winds. Our mission here is not to hurt you. We are here to stop the elemental turmoil on this island, and we know that Quintessence would never allow the elements to come together like this, and that is our main mission here. Using that lessons to try to silver tongue it, adding Quintessence into my plea.
Okay. Nothing happens. You can't even roll. Give me a insight check.
Okay. What if he is two elements together? You said insight?
Yes.
Okay.
Ugh.
Oh, great.
You expect that if it speaks language that it might understand you. I know that you're saying it in Primordial.
Mhm.
Not all elementals necessarily have this sort of speech. So if it can understand you, which you don't know, it seems to be driven by other impulses. This is not a being that it can be reasoned with. It has its orders almost.
Okay. I tried, y'all. I'm sorry. Can I have more than one bardic inspiration up at the same time?
Yes, you can.
So
Not on the same
will-
person.
Correct. So making sure that they're within distance from me, I'll give mine to Clax, being like, "Guess you gotta hurt it."
Oh, also for your silvery barbs though.
Oh yes, I will give advantage to. How far do they have to be? Sorry, it's been a long time since combat. 60 feet, and Flint's next. I'll give my advantage to Flint.
Okay. Almost in reaction to your shouting at it, it's going to use a legendary action to offer a thunderous caw. If I would say, let me do some measurements. That because it's so close to the ground, that's going to hit all four of you. If you could all roll a Constitution saving throw.
26.
The damage is
almost
at
a
least.
20. Almost a 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm squishy, DM.
well, you still take 6 thunder damage.
I
Enjoy.
know. It's okay.
So you almost feel like your speech has been rebutted. Like it waited for you to finish and then it shouted at you.
It's like, yeah. Okay. I had to try.
Flint, it's your turn.
You have advantage on your next attack ability check or saving throw. So technically would have been done for this.
Yes, technically it would have.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if it says next, then yes.
Yes. Well, you still have a D8 to use.
Yeah. Does this thing look even remotely injured at this point? Like,
It has shrieked in pain several times. If you want to assess it, it might take more of a action.
Nah. Um, what's the range on my turret thing? I should know this. 10 feet of it. That's not ideal. If I did, yeah, I can get the 3 of us. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use my action to summon my turret. As the shielding one. 'Cause this is just
People
kind
are
of
hurting.
way too much damage. And I will.
So you know your turret has 15 feet of movement without
Yeah.
difficult terrain. So,
Well, there.
are you doing the tiny
And-
one that's on your shoulder? Or...
Well, no, because no. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll move closer here. I guess this is probably a terrible idea. Whatever. And I will try to give us all some temp hit points. Nice.
That's not nothing. In
It
fact,
is
it's
not.
something. Is it your action to create the cannon?
Yeah, it's an action to create it. Which is like I try to usually do it outside of combat before I know we're gonna fight because it's a bummer for a turn. But that's my turn because I basically burned all my movement.
Who's in that range of the temp? Me and Cloud.
The 3 of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so dumb question because it's been a while. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I see it now. Okay. Whew. I will gladly take those 10 hit points.
Okay. Mouse, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna start by calling some more lightning. Ooh. I'm gonna call lightning, but like on the far side.
Like just sort of striking the ground.
Like, yeah, like in this direction. Basically, I want to hit its tail and not Drata.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood. Yes. That makes sense.
So it needs a dex save. For not good damage.
It seems to succeed.
So it takes 7 lightning damage.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna run forward and bonus action use star form in my archer shape.
Before you do that, just as a point of order, when you hit it with another bolt of lightning, you see the clouds start to grow in size. And it is now a slightly bigger creature.
Hot.
But you were saying?
Oh, and now I'm just a target.
Well, you can turn this off if you'd like.
It makes sense. I don't know what to do other than to continue hurting it. I don't think I can convince it to go away, so I'm gonna shoot it with my archer form.
Okay.
And hope that it's like a balloon and is eventually just gonna pop.
That's a pretty significant roll.
It's a pretty solid archer hit.
It does. The light seems to pierce the clouds and sort of like a ray that almost shoots into the clouds and pierces the sky above you as well, almost creating a brief window into the stars. It seems to hurt pretty bad. Not like double damage or anything, but pretty bad.
And I just think really hard and try to figure out, like, I don't like hurting other creatures, but it's hurting my friends.
Okay. Now that it's big enough to have 2 legendary actions, it's going to offer another Thunderous Caw. This one is now, I think it's everybody, including Mouse, now that Mouse is a little closer.
Nice.
That's a con save?
Yes.
Sorry, I haven't done that yet.
Ooh.
All right. Everybody except for Drada is fine, but Drada is going to accept 13 additional damage.
How are you doing, Drada?
Bad.
Great.
Is the long and short of it. Yeah, not great.
Plax.
Seeing now, how high off the ground is he right now?
30 feet.
All right, then I will again move 15 feet towards it, and I will. Oops. Sorry. Trying to remember all the buttons there. 5, 10, 15. Take my other hand axe. Kind of pull it with my one. Throw, because now I have my hand axe out. Throw it, grab, throw, grab other axe if I can. And that's my turn, and then see if I can hit him.
Okay. So disadvantage is still far enough away.
Yep. All right. So 19 with disadvantage becomes a.
Hey, that's
19 still.
A 19 still hits.
8 slashing though, very low damage, but.
And you see similarly the clouds dissipate, and you hear like the thud of your axe landing somewhere over here.
Good thing they're in 2 completely different directions. I'll have to remember that.
But that is passively, assuming everybody doesn't run away from this, you will just retrieve your axes without issue. But
okay.
Drada, it is your turn. It on this 2D plane, it appears to be on top of you, but really it's 30 feet above you, so there's no opportunity attack risk.
Awesome. What is the range of the cannon, or of Flint's cannon?
10 feet. I'm going to walk 10 feet in that direction towards you, but that's...
Great, I'm going to start heading your way. How to go... My movement speed is 35 feet. Halved, how to go about that?
I think if you go at a slight diagonal, you'll have like 16 or 17 or you can't go. You can't. We don't round up in this. Is sort of how it goes.
That's what I was asking. Great. Okay. Drada is really just gonna start booking it towards some temp HP.
I will just so you're aware, I'm not telling you what to do, but you can spend your action to dash as well. And actually, are you rogue enough to cunning action yet?
I mean, I can bonus action dash, which is what I will be doing.
Okay, gotcha.
And okay, what is 10 feet from there?
Yeah, like you're almost in range already.
It's more me trying to be like, but I want to hide in future, so where's their terrain behind?
That's fair.
The answer is right near you, there's a bush.
It's not quite.
Not a very big bush.
It's not a very big bush. It would be a high DC.
But... Anyways, okay. So Drada's no longer in immediate danger of dying, so that's really fun. But and still will take some shots at this large bird.
Okay. So because you're not hidden anymore, these are with disadvantage. Yes. 15 does hit, though.
Haha, fuck you, bird.
So if you want Hunter's Mark that. There you go, still 10.
Sexy one.
13 does not hit. Its AC
How rude.
seems to be 14.
Okay, so a nice 10 damage.
That's significant. And again, all of you are watching like Gerada's arrows sink into this like being that is becoming almost corporeal when hit with these magic arrows.
Love that. And it's plus 10 temporary HP right now?
I'll have to activate it on my turn.
Okay, never mind.
So no.
So on your turn and look forward to it.
And then it's a dice roll, so it could be like 1 temporary hit point if you're unlucky.
It really could. We'll find out.
Hey, that one could help.
Listen,
It's gonna be a good roll. Everything else is going so great. I'm sure it'll be fine.
So this Stormcrow has sort of circled, or I'm drawing roughly an arrow to indicate how it has been swooping around. So it is going to continue in this moment directly onto Mouse, who you all, for a time, hadn't seen Mouse in some time, and you've been sort of having this fight with lightning striking down at you that you're like, oh, maybe that's Mouse, maybe not. But now that Mouse is lit up like a beacon, it's very clear that she is its next target.
About to be eaten.
Let me do some quick measurements. So functionally, it is going to do the same thing it did to Klax and Gerada, except all 3 attacks are coming at you, not just 2 of them. So we're going to do 2 lightning claws. Assume 25 hits.
Yeah,
But only 8 damage. And I assume 22 also hits.
of course.
As it's sort of like... as it's coming down, it sort of bears down on you. And I would say the sonic pulse probably actually comes first. As it's sort of coming towards you, it sonic pulses, and then it just sort of claws you and drives past for an additional 18 damage.
Neat.
So that's 44, I think,
Oh, wow.
if math serves me.
Cool.
And then it goes past. You could opportunity attack, but I don't think you have anything of value to do. Also, if you could roll me 3 concentration checks on Call Lightning.
Yeah. I was gonna drop that anyway.
But while you're doing that, Aesop, it is your turn.
Great. How far away is this thing now? And it's still 30 feet up in the air?
20 feet now.
20 feet. Got it. This thing is super far away. Okay.
Call Lightning has dropped.
I'm going to... Let's see. If I run... Klax, how are you looking?
I'll be fine.
Okay. So we are going to... I'm going to use my action and my bonus action to move, so I'm going to be moving my 30 feet. I'll move behind this rock. So let's see. See if he'll... Nope. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. There we go. And that is gonna be... That was my bonus action, so I can't do anything else. So that is my turn.
Sorry, what was your bonus action?
I'm moved again.
You cannot bonus action dash. That's a rogue
Why am I
thing.
so used to doing that? Okay, so I'm gonna move back 15 feet. So let me just...
Well, you could use your
Oh, sorry, you can use your action to dash.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay, so you still have a bonus action then.
I don't have anything useful right now. I'm gonna save my thing, so I am done.
Okay.
Fortunately.
You are just outside of its thunderous claw range.
Oof.
However, Mouse and actually, hold on. Okay, depending on where I measure from, you're actually just in it.
Yeah, Mouse is down.
Yeah.
When you say down, unconscious?
Yeah.
Clax, if you could also roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so I am in it. Okay, 1 second. Con save.
You all see the light
Ooh,
from
15?
Mouse, the starlight that she was glowing with, dissipate after this caw, like erupts downwards. But Flint, it is your turn, and Clax, you take 0 damage. Or no, Clax, you take, sorry, DC 17.
15?
You take 12
Oh,
damage.
okay. All right. So there goes my 10 hit points.
Is there a point in between Clax and Drata somewhere that's 10 feet from both of them? No, they're
You-
25 feet apart, so...
I'm planning on moving Clax's way, if that's
Well, but I have to
I'm
use
not
it
demanding
now.
too much, but
Drata is
So-
looking much more hurt than Clax
Yeah,
is, would
I
say.
know.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know how I've ruined everything. I'm somehow clicked on my turret, and it won't let me click on Flint or unselect the turret.
I moved the turret away. I don't know if that helps, but
I've
or what do you want to do? Yeah.
I am just gonna use the turret to get Drata some temp hit points. I can do that now. Just had to refresh. All right,
Hey,
10
take
temp
10.
hit points, and
Thanks.
I will move in Mouse's direction. Where can I get to? I can get to there, I guess.
Hey, do you guys mind going a few more minutes? I know it's 10.
If possible, I'd like prefer to end the night either conscious or dead.
Don't
Only
say the
just
other
the
one,
first
please.
option, just the first
Yeah,
option.
just first option.
And then I'll scorching ray the bird because I don't know what else to do to it.
What is the range on Scorching Ray?
It's 120 feet.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, no issues.
Actually, I think I may be able to get to her.
Oh, I forgot to mention when it used its bonus Thundering Caw. When it got bigger, it turned smaller again. So technically, that was a temporary benefit that it got.
It's only seemed to get bigger when it took the lightning, right? It hasn't been other damage that's been making it bigger.
It has not really, as best as you can tell. Yes.
All right.
14 does hit.
I don't
That's right.
know why it doesn't roll this more times, but
Because nothing's perfect.
yeah. Do it again, and I'll just have to refund these spells.
10 does not hit.
You have a D8.
Yeah, I'll add the D8 to that.
Sure. You know, that still misses.
We tried. Oh.
Come on.
All right. Well, that's my turn.
Fair enough.
It is.
Took one hit.
Something I would like to do a little bit different with death saves. If you could GM roll it to me. Also do /GM roll 1d20. And we're not going to tell people what the result was.
Well, how...
Slash roll in those spaces. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right before I roll.
I just typed it in chat without the space or without the period.
You can also just above where you're typing the rolling in.
Yeah, there's a
There's
little
public
click
roll,
option.
and you can do private GM or blind GM. I'm not sure what the difference is.
Okay. Clax, it's your turn.
How far off the ground is he? Not that really matters to me.
20
But
feet. Give me a perception check for free.
Okay. Sorry. Perception. There it is.
Mouse is not looking good.
Okay.
I'm not telling you much more than that with a 12.
Nope, I don't
but
think between her laughter and your comment, I can make an assumption.
Sorry, no poker face.
Yeah, that's fine. 5, 10. Oh, actually, there's 15. I don't have anything more hand axes to throw. He hasn't struck me in a while, so I couldn't have used that. I think I will just, again, 5, take my action to sprint or to dash, and that is my turn.
All right. The crow, having seemingly defeated its prey, is going to use its bonus action. Its legendary action to. Oh wait. For some reason, the legendary action did not recharge as it was supposed to. But it's going to use its.
Oh darn!
But it's going to use its detect. It's trying to suss out its next target, since it's sort of flying in the wrong direction. But sorry, continue.
Is
Wait.
it Drata?
Yes, it is. And sorry, it actually didn't even have a legendary action. It already used that. Just kidding.
Ah, suck it. Drata is definitively out of range. So we'll happily.
Is that true?
I think so.
You have yeah. No, the crossbow says 30/120.
Oh, yes.
So,
No.
so yeah, the one. Yeah.
I forgot that rule of.
So it's
that
a disadvantage, but yes.
Thank you, crossbow expert. We appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I even forgot about that. I was just we're good.
We're fine. You. Andrada has no hopes of getting to Mouse in time, but also Aesop called out that he was on it, and Andrada trusts Aesop to be on it. I moved this way, putting some distance. Oh, that's still too far to be called a hide. This bird needs to perish. Best action economy here is. Yeah, we'll take some shots on this here large bird. And use bonus action to dash so I can prep to hide next turn, I guess. These are at disadvantage, and that's fine. That's definitely not hitting. The second attack, potentially.
Sorry.
Hits.
The second attack does indeed hit.
Great. And then throw an extra d6 in there. Great. We're doing 10 damage every turn.
Yeah, that's actually 100% true. You still have a bonus action. You do have a bonus action attack as well. Oh no, you steady aimed. Sorry. Yes.
No, I did not steady aim. I took
Oh, sorry.
disadvantage on the second.
Then go ahead.
And I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to. I think I will bonus action dash to get behind this rock to prep to hide.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. I'm going to reveal what you typed to Emily after all this, but it continues to... So this might provide some opportunities for. We're actually going to go here. Some opportunities for Clax to get in, but it's spent its whole 80 feet of movement at this moment to come down on Flint. But this will be the full suite of attacks.
All right. All right.
I'm assuming that is. An 18.
18 misses.
Good. And actually, hold on. It doesn't necessarily. The third attack, the sonic boom, is actually, it has reach. So, so this one's actually going to this one's actually going for Aesop, the sonic pulse.
Oh, okay. It's got a hit.
I'm assuming that hits. Yes. But so
I don't know if you can miss with his AC.
Unless there's a natural one.
Yeah.
But from Clax's perspective, like, turns are sort of happening simultaneously. Like, it's not actually landing, but when Clax rolls around, he sees an opportunity to hit it while it's in flight. So it's sort of like, it's not actually landing, but it is sort of swooping down and taking these attacks and ending its turn.
So are you saying I have an opportunity attack?
No, when it's your turn,
Got you.
It'll be in melee technically.
If I so choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aesop.
Yeah.
I will say the swooping nature of it won't get an opportunity attack on you because it's not actually on the ground in this moment.
Okay.
So
Well,
you could run past it if you want.
Well, I was going to teleport away, unfortunately using another spell, but I was going to teleport away anyway. Let me... God.
Pick your mouse if you can.
The unfortunate part is I can get to her with no action.
If you use a spell to teleport, you can't cast another leveled spell.
Yeah. So, based on the measurements, I can get right next to you, mouse. So let me do it step by step. Yes. So I will travel 30 feet. So I'll go. Is this spot okay even though it's 32? Here?
I'll be nice, yes. It's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna go right behind Flax. Oop. Crap. It's gonna be right here. And then using my action and movement to get right next to you. And that's all I can do. Stare at your lifeless corpse.
Yeah, I'll say your total movement was 60 feet, which without having to do any kind of rounding.
What's the range on healing word?
I believe
Sorry,
it's 60 feet.
Do you bypass difficult terrain?
He used action to dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only healing that I have is Cure Wounds, which is touch.
Oh,
Okay.
you only have cure wounds. I thought you only had healing word for some
Yep.
reason.
No, that's me.
Okay.
Oh,
Question. That's probably not going to impact things. Would the administration of a healing potion count as an action, or is that an object interaction?
It would be a action to feed it to somebody else. It's a bonus action to take it yourself, action to give it to somebody else.
Well, Clax, if you wanted to take a healing potion from me, you could have. But I do not know if it does not save time.
Yeah.
All right. My turn.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
you-
Flint's turn. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Is this thing in the situation where it is
There's no
considered
opportunity
in?
attacks.
Well,
But you
is it
can use melee if you want.
Is
Sorry.
it considered in melee for the purpose of doing a ranged attack?
Yes.
But it
But-
but it wouldn't get opportunity attacks.
If you took like 5-foot
Yeah.
step back, you would be able to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish.
All right.
I'm kind of
Then
bending the rules a bit just because it's not landing. It's kind of weird.
yeah, I'm gonna go here-ish and try and give Drata and I some healing, or temp HP. Cool.
Thank you.
Although I don't know if you got it or not, so that might not be better than the 10 you already had. But and then I will. I'm already so low on spells. I'll try and Scorching Ray it again.
Okay.
Just gonna be not able to do a whole lot for a while.
14 does hit.
14? All right.
That
Nice.
that does hit.
Oh.
Oh,
The dice weren't super high, but it's still
Yeah.
still nice.
But do I have? No, I used my D8 already. So, yep, that's all I got.
Okay. I'm like really fighting my instincts for it to just. I think I have to. It uses its legendary action to do a thunderous caw. To those who are immediately around it.
Am I in the range?
23.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Flint
Great.
and Dorada take 10 damage.
Rada
Right.
will use his reaction to absorb elements to take 5.
That's a good use of it.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but here we are.
Mouse, if you could GM roll me a d20.
Roll well. Please roll well. Please roll well.
I went off camera. You can't see me this time.
I assume that's why you're off camera.
Klax, it's your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna move up 20 feet of movement to get within range. Alright, I think I've planned this out. First, I'm going to attack it with my battle axe.
Okay.
A 25 hit.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Next, sorry, give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm doing this in the right order. How is the creature looking? Or
Are you going to
is that
spend
like
some? You can't decide
No.
to spend extra
Nope.
damage before I tell you. But...
No. It's not for that. It's just in general.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, it is dissipated pretty significantly. It still has the same fervor. Like it hasn't waned its killing presence.
all right.
But it is much smaller.
I will take my second attack again. Please. I think that's close. I'm gonna go ahead, just be certain. Gonna burn superior die for the precision attack.
I'm going to be nice and say its AC is 14, and you've determined that already.
All right. Sorry, I couldn't remember. Okay, so another 10. Then, as a bonus action, I'm going to take the shove action because I'm shield master and attempt to knock it. I know it's not quite on the ground. I'm going to see if I can't at least knock it off balance. I don't really. I know I have the option to knock it either prone or 5 feet away. I'd prefer to knock it prone, but I know that might not be realistic, so I'll leave that up to your discretion.
Sorry, I'm just reading it really quickly.
It's specifically the shove rule is what I get to do.
Yeah, I'm just like surprised that there's no size classification attached to it. So yeah, feel free. You can do as you wish. So do an athletics roll against it.
Yep. Oh no, I lost my screen. Sorry, I was flipping things. All right. Pull this back up. There's my character sheet. Where'd my little thing go? I lost my little spot. Hold on. All right, there it is. Sorry. I can't see you guys now because I did.
No, it's fine.
Athletics. It wasn't great.
Yeah, you push your shield into it, and it seems like you're catching the tails of it.
All right, then I will go ahead and action surge.
Oh boy.
So now I will attempt to attack again. And since that's attack action, so so garbage damage. And then I'll take my second attack with my attack action.
Mhm.
That I will use a precision attack.
Okay.
Did it roll? It did not roll. So that's crap.
It's a D8, I believe.
Thank you. Roll.
Hey,
All right.
that hits.
Okay, so again, garbage damage. I've rolled horrible damage, but so I think between the 4 attacks, it's what
I've been doing it incrementally, so.
Okay. And then I did my bonus action, did both rounds of attacks. I think I've exhausted everything I can do.
Very good. It seems quite hurt, Drada. You perhaps as hurt as yourself.
How dare you? How absolutely dare you? I also looked it up, and I don't have steady aim yet. That's next level of rogue.
Oh, joy.
I haven't used it, so I would start with a bonus action hide.
Okay.
Actually, no. Is Clax within 5 feet?
Yeah. Oh
yes.
Yeah.
So no hide. I'd say it would be hard to hide when it's sort of right in front of you.
What are you talking about? There's a big rock there. 3 crossbow shots will be coming its way.
Very good.
And a sneak attack as well.
If you hit.
Well, we're dreaming.
So far, so good. Less good.
No. Well.
Why couldn't I just rolled not 2 ones in a row on my freaking damage?
Okay, that one does hit.
How this battle has
Or
been
You
going,
want to add
honestly.
sneak attack and Hunter's Mark?
Yes, I'm adding 3d6.
We haven't been keeping your concentration on Hunter's Mark.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Just we'll let it go
I'll
for now.
Take off. I will just not
Remove one of the
roll.
fours.
This final one, I will just not have Hunter's Mark. I will assume that I have failed. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just remembered. That hits. You sink your arrow into it. And this is, again, like, turns are happening a little bit simultaneously because it managed to come to the ground while Clax was able to intercept it. But you sink an arrow into it as it's coming down, and sort of as it descends upon Flint, you get that point blank shot, and its entire storm body collides into the ground in front of you and dissipates into smoke.
Mouse.
Yep. Run.
I'm already
Wounds
there.
healing.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Mouse.
Thank you.
I still got it.
I'll take whatever you got.
What?
She says from the near afterlife.
Does
Yeah.
Mouse come?
She comes back, yes.
So it wasn't that one, I'm assuming.
It was the fun. So we made her re-roll it because we realized that Halfling Luck should have triggered.
Yes.
So it was a natural one that turned into a 7, but then her second roll was a
Okay, so not
19.
great.
So she had 1 pass, 1 fail. And she like pulled up a Jeremy Crawford article to determine whether or not you could even do that with Halfling Luck. But
Like, hold on. Does Halfling Luck, like, apply to death saves?
There's saving throws.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I expected. I just rely on Foundry to take care of that from now on. But
And this makes 0 sense, but I think technically rules as written, my flash of genius can apply to somebody's death saving throw. Like, it's stupid. It
yeah,
shouldn't.
I love that.
we'll
part.
cross that bridge when we get there. The thing
Yeah.
is with the whole, because I wanted GM roll those just to add this exact.
Oh, I like
tension,
I like it.
because
I go
Yeah.
off camera before I do it.
yeah.
Not
I know. I burst out laughing too. It's funny. I was like, I'm about to kill off Millie's character. I'm gonna feel real bad.
Don't do that.
Oh god, that was
Barry
Um,
doesn't want to
stressful.
deal with Millie having to make a new character.
Yeah. It is 10:26.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I want to debrief what happened, but we will do that at the top of next game. So
Yes.
good job surviving, and let's see how. Given that this was your first fight in a very dangerous zone, let's see how the rest of them go.
Hopefully there are no more.
Well,
Hopefully, there's no more fights.
yeah, no
I-
more fights.
All right.
Are we all good for the 24th?
Yeah.